Good evening, everybody. everybody's doing okay tonight. Alright, let's get down to business once again. Where am I? There I am. So, I figured, with this being the last week of streams, as we're getting closer and closer to the end, sadly, I figured I'd tie up a couple loose ends, and I've still got one last set of E3 stuff that I have, one last set of E3 stuff that I've got to throw onto the playlist, so I figured we'd take care of that before we get to the last extra stuff. I'm gonna do a solo outing this time, because there's not too much left to talk about that hasn't already been said, so a lot of stuff is either going to be repeated, or you can already go back and watch it on the earlier VODs. They're all up on my YouTube channel too. But first I want to say thank you so much to Junie Hejiko and Derek Rifkin for carrying me. I thought I'd be carrying them, but we had a blast for the first two parts for doing this, and I have to give all my credit to Junie and Derek, especially Junie for bringing Derek on the show. We definitely had a lot of fun time, so, but Junie is busy with a couple other things today, and I think it's like 2 a.m. where Derek is right now, so I didn't want to bother them for this last couple parts. Plus, I believe we saved the absolute worst of it for last, so I wanted to kind of give them a break, because we've already seen enough cringe content from G4. Most of the rest of the stuff that we're going to watch today is the excess G4 content, so we'll watch maybe like one video on the floor, with the rest of the stuff that we didn't get to see, and then like the second half of this will be all just like G4 TV news and everything, and then we'll get out of here. So that's literally all that I had to do, but I didn't want to leave like no stone unturned with the rest of the stuff. So we have been about, I want to say, almost 6 hours of E303 content through this, so this will be probably another 2.5. So depending on how fast we get through this is how much I can stomach this. So, but anyways, yeah, this is the last part of E3, and I think this is the last retrospective that I'm gonna do, before the long hiatus. But it has to be done. All right. Y'all ready to go back in one more time? Let's do this. This is essentially almost like the Sunday of a convention. You've already seen most of the stuff. This is just kind of like the last day of things. So most of the stuff we've already seen and talked about before, so there's not too much content. Alright, let's get back into it. Freeze on me already. I've already talked about most of the games that we've seen. Like, we've already seen Silent Hill and Devil May Cry, and I already forget about. These TMNT games I've already explained are not good. All three of them, I think, on the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox are very slow and sluggish. The best TMNT beat-em-ups have already been out long at this time. I thought one of these games, I don't know if I've said it already, I thought one of these games did have Turtles in Time as a bonus game, if not the original arcade game. But for the longest time, like, your best bet of playing the Turtles, did they have Turtles in Time on XBLA? I know they had the 89 arcade game. Let me crack open this beer real quick. I know they had the 89 Turtles arcade game on Xbox Live for a while, but that got delisted. Like, that and the Simpsons arcade game and a whole bunch of other games got delisted. But you know what else this also makes me think of? Do you guys remember that pretty awful reboot of Turtles in Time that they did for the XBLA? I think it was like Turtles in Time Reshelled. That game basically has been lost to time unless you still have it, or somehow can manage to re-download it, but I think that got delisted. Honestly, I'm glad that game's gone. Of the few XBLA games that got delisted that I want to try out, that was not worth my time. I wonder what the asking rate for the Super Nintendo Turtles in Time was at this time. This was 2003. one of these games had the Turtles in Time, or it had the Turtles arcade game as a bonus. Is this the first one? It's like I also mentioned, I think this is based off the 2003 TMNT series. Yeah, that theme. That theme that still gives me nightmares. Let me check eBay real quick just to see the box of this. I don't remember when we were looking at GameCube demos. A lot of stuff just kind of comes and goes, but like I remember seeing a preview of one of these games on the GameCube demo discs. Oh yeah, not to mention there's also TMNT 2007. You gonna watch racism clips? Maybe. Our good friend initials AS is gonna be here at the end. Invited him back onto the show. Yeah, this is G4 circa 2003, so you know exactly what we're getting into. But yeah, I forgot that TMNT 2007 was also on GameCube. Right? That was like one of the last GameCube games that was out. How you doing, Koma? Does anybody even remember TMNT 2007 at all? Yeah, that game was on GameCube, PS2, Wii, DS, PSP. It was on Xbox 360 as well, too. That weird, awkward age where games were in between, like, 6th and 7th generation, like, the Xbox 360 was, like, the only, HD version of it. Kuma, buddy, if you were here earlier, you'd know the booth vape scene at E3 was hot as ever, especially with the Dead or Alive games. They had the Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball games. They barely even I don't even think they showed like any gameplay footage of it. It was literally just girls in clad bikinis. It was hot, but it was a different time. Tekken 4, though. I don't even remember that many notable girls in Tekken 4, besides Nina. Obviously, Nina's the big one, but like if you're looking for girl-on-girl action in a fighting game, Dead or Alive is probably better. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let me... Oh, yeah, Rumble Roses as well. Well, I mean, everybody knows and jokes about Dead or Alive Volleyball as being a fan servicey game. Personally, I mean, yes, that is essentially what it is, especially for an American taste. Personally, I probably would have stuck with Dead or Alive 3. I need to get Dead or Alive 4 on 360 because I know it's a really early 360 game. Like, not quite launch title, but like the first month after the 360 was out. I got a buddy who absolutely loves Rumble Roses on PS2. I'm desperately trying to figure out which of these games had the arcade game. Was it 3? Might have been 3. There was Battle Nexus, there was Mutant Nightmare. Let's go with the Spartan. I don't know. Who did I play as a lot in Dead or Alive 3? I did play a bit of it on the Xbox. It's a dirt cheap game too on Xbox too. Not Kasumi. I think I played as Ayane. Yeah, I played as Ayane. Oh, it's bad. Was it 2? So I'm looking it up. Which of these TMNT games had the arcade game? I think they're saying it was 2. Like, yeah, that's kind of cool as a bonus. Oh my God, was the GameCube version of 2 a 2-disc game? Yeah, the GameCube version or TMNT 2 Battle Nexus had an unlockable TMNT arcade game. So I guess that's kind of worth the merit. Kind of wish they had Turtles in Time instead. But like, TMNT Arcade was also on Xbox. Simpsons Arcade. I wish they, outside of the arcade one-up, I wish they brought back Simpsons Arcade game to other ports. You know, Konami's licensing was the reason why we didn't get the Simpsons Arcade game on home consoles, because they only had the license to put Simpsons games on PCs. So the only ports of the arcade game for the Simpsons out at the time was the DOS version and the Commodore 64 version. Plus they put out their own Simpsons game called House of Weirdness. There were a couple DOS like exclusive Konami games. There was a DOS exclusive TMNT game as well called Manhattan Missions. Kind of falls under the radar. I think Manhattan Missions and Bart's House of Weirdness were done by the same studio. We're just getting raw gameplay footage of this game for like hand-drawn art style. You know what? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they did that for iOS. There might have been a relatively obscure iOS port of the Simpsons arcade game. Oh god, G4's got their own arcade cabinets. I know they did that for Mega Man X. Like, when Mega Man X got an iOS port, they completely redrew the graphics. Let me double check that to see if... Yeah, I was right. They did. It came out in like 2009. I'm not sure exactly how quote-unquote faithful of a port it was, but it did have like a modern art style. Or at least for 2009 Simpsons. I don't like it. I don't mind the Simpsons arcade game as it was, but I feel like it came out a little too early in the show's lifespan. Yeah, Silent Hill again. So I guess we're just in the Konami booth and things. Any Silent Hill questions I ever have, I would just bring it up with Junie. Because Junie knows Silent Hill, he knows Devil May Cry, he knows... I hope he knows Metal Gear Solid. You know what? I have yet to even play a single Silent Hill game. At the very least, I want to try the demo of Silent Hill 1 on PS1. If we don't have time to do a full playthrough of it anymore, I at least want to try a demo just to see if I can ease into it. I jumped head into Devil May Cry, and that was kind of a mistake, not knowing how difficult that game would be. Yeah, I mean, as far as like a lot of beat 'em ups went, Konami was on top of it. Them and Capcom. Capcom also had some decent ones too. One of my favorites that never got a home console port was that stayed exclusive to the arcade was this one called Cowboys of Mumesa. It was based off a '90s cartoon. It only lasted like a season, if not two. The Cowboys of Mumesa is a really fun concept because it's like cowboys, but the cowboys are actual cows. If you can go back and watch a couple of the episodes, I would hope they'd still hold up for an early '90s cartoon. But like that and Bucky O'Hare. Did Bucky O'Hare Arcade ever get a home console port? At least now, because probably not then. One of their bigger ones that I knew somebody who used to play it every time they streamed was Violent Storm. But yeah, like we've already seen the Silent Hill trailer before, so. Yeah, that does go for at least the first 3 Silent Hill games. I don't know about any other Silent Hill after that. I do have Silent Hill 4 on Xbox, but you know I have yet to see how that goes. And then there's like all the other ones. There was Silent Hill Homecoming, Origins, Shattered Memories. I added Shattered Memories onto my PS2 hard drive, just because it was like a really late PS2 release. It was like 2010 when it came out. I want to say one cautiously optimistic, but also very eager to see what new projects come out of the Silent Hill franchise. I know we're getting a Silent Hill 2 remake. I mean that's essentially you're not far off from the bush there. But it's also based on a cartoon that not a lot of people remember. No, you might see a couple. Of those VHS tapes out in the wild. Yeah, Silent Hill wasn't necessarily my first choice for a horror game on PlayStation. I mean, that probably went to Parasite Eve. I would love to see not a new Parasite Eve game because after a third birthday, I don't trust Square Enix to make a new Parasite Eve. But I would love to see just like an HD remaster or like a remake of Parasite Eve 1 and 2. I know they're doing that for Mario RPG, and oh yeah, I mean, since we looked at the last time we looked at E303 stuff, a lot of new stuff has happened, especially now that everybody's done their June presentations. Yeah, we try to forget about third birthday as much as possible. I'm very eager to see how the Mario RPG remake will turn out later this year. I've got a friend who's a diehard fan of that. She's even the dev on the randomizer as well too. Hi, Pidge. But yeah, that pissed me off too. That they were teasing a Parasite Eve thing and it turned out to be NFT stuff. So it's kind of clear that Square Enix doesn't care about Parasite Eve. You think we're likely to see a Dino Crisis reboot before we see Parasite Eve? But, knowing how Dino Crisis 3 went... That's another game that we never got around to. I was going to continue with Dino Crisis 2. I do know there's a demo of it on PS1, so... Maybe we'll look at the Dino Crisis 2 demo sometime this week. What's the one that people like more? Is it 2 or 3? Because I know both of them have their own merits. Never really asked or remembered which one Junior likes more, 2 or 3. Man, this goes hard. I did enjoy my playthrough of Dino Crisis 1, though, when I did that on Dreamcast. I did that... God, it's been over 2 years since I did that playthrough. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm also not streaming on Wi-Fi. Yeah, for the record, I'm actually at my mom's house for this one stream, considering I didn't need to be on any consoles tonight, so I didn't feel like it was necessary to drive back to my place for this. So this is probably the one and only stream that I'm doing from my mom's house this season. Don't expect any more of these. Yeah, I know Dino Crisis 1 and 2 differ in genres. 2 was way more action-oriented. That kind of also felt the way for Resident Evil 3, too. Resident Evil 1, like, in between Resident Evil 1 and 3, like, 1 was definitely a lot of puzzles. Like, there were a lot of puzzles for Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 2 was like a good mix between puzzles and action, kind of leaning a little bit towards action. 3 was all action. There were very little puzzle solving in 3 that I remember. But 3 went by rougher than Dino Crisis 1 did. At least I feel a little bit more comfortable knowing I've done the Resident Evil 4 demo twice. Oh yeah, Metal Gear Solid... Twin Snakes? Speaking of also new things that are coming out soon, I'm glad that the Metal Gear Solid collection is coming to Switch, so we're finally seeing Metal Gear Solid on Nintendo again. I kinda wish that, at least for the Switch version, they would give us Twin Snakes instead of the original MGS one. If they even still have the license to re-release Twin Snakes. Because I know Silicon Knights did that one, and Silicon Knights had a very ill fate. But, I like that they're also giving, the new, Metal Gear Solid, or the older Metal Gear Solid games, such as, like, the ones on the MSX, and the NES ones, too. They have the audacity that they're, re-releasing Snake's Revenge. Like the non-canon Metal Gear game. Yeah, I talked a little bit about Silicon Knights when... Yeah, Junie mentioned the same thing. When we were doing like a test recording, I have yet to release that footage, but like we were doing a test recording of like when Silicon Knights was presenting some early GameCube stuff. I was talking about Eternal Darkness, because I did a playthrough of Eternal Darkness as well. When I mentioned Silicon Knights, but 2 Human was also brought up. I can't believe 2 Human was in development for so long. Yep, Silicon Knights. Eternal Darkness, right there. Yeah. I mean, they're infamous because, like, they stole a game engine from Epic, and then Epic sued them, and then they went out of business from that. But, like, it was 2 Human and X-Men Destiny, I think. There's got to be a Matt McMuscles video on what happened with Silicon Knights. Yeah, there is. He did one on 2 Human, so... I enjoyed Eternal Darkness. It was a little bit puzzle heavy towards the end. It kind of just dragged on a little bit. I don't know if it's worth going through multiple playthroughs of it. I enjoyed Geist way better than Eternal Darkness, though. Between the 2 games that I played that month, Geist was far better. I'm almost not even paying attention. I'm just rambling on, because most of the stuff I've already seen before. There wasn't too much for Junie and Derek to talk about. Again, if you want... Let me even go link my, my YouTube channel again. Follow that. The first two parts of this E3 retrospective are up there, plus all my other previous VODs. We've already done most of the Nintendo stuff, most of this already, so... Yeah, we looked at this trailer last time as well too, Derek and I. We got the raw footage of it.
Snake, hurry!
We're trying to buy some more time.
Yeah, this is Devil May Cry 2 again. Junie has warned me very far in advance about Devil May Cry 2. So once again, the story with Devil May Cry 2 was they changed developers, and the developers who did DMC2 were pretty inexperienced and really didn't know much about the series, and then that definitely kind of showed. So after this, they kind of went back to the original. Oh wait, no, this is Castlevania. I thought this was Devil May Cry. Right, we're still in Konami territory. Okay, never mind. Besides, no, Devil May Cry 2 was E302 anyway, so I don't know what the hell I was talking about. 3D Castlevanias, though. I would have loved to try these, and especially the one that was on Xbox. I think Curse of Darkness was the Xbox one. I just never got around to these. I did want to try one of the N64 ones. Not the first one, but Legacy of Darkness kind of looked a little intriguing. But I would have hoped that by this point... they would have figured out, better camera and controls into 3D Castlevania on a newer console than they would have for the N64 one. They were still putting out, the camera and controls on the N64 Castlevanias are what you call N64 quality, meaning, it was an awkward step between 2D and 3D. These ones look more promising than the N64 ones do. And I don't even know how Lord of Shadow turned out. Both of those ones that happened. Or 3 of them, right? Because there was Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate as well too, right? Yeah, there was Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. It was Mirror of Fate on the 3DS. And honestly, had they made a new line Castlevania since Lords of Shadow 2? That was, what, 2014? Most of the Castlevania games that I'm familiar with were the State of 2D ones. But again, the first one that I played through was Circle of the Moon. Let's do Metroid games. Oh, they did Metroid Dread. But again, like speaking of Devil May Cry, once Devil May Cry came out, everybody tried to capitalize on that. Like there were Devil May Cry clones out the ass, and I wouldn't be surprised if Konami started to get on the bandwagon with that too. So no wonder why I thought this was Devil May Cry 2. Lament of Innocence. Heck to Ninja Turtles again. We've just been at the Konami booth for like the last half hour. Well, I'll give it credit. This is when Konami was still making games and still had some sort of dignity. Unlike, 10 years down the road. I feel sick every time I hear this theme. Is the 2003 series even worth going back to watching? I watched a couple of the episodes. Not recently, but like I watched a couple of it when they were airing. Especially the fast forward episodes when they were in the future. Kira bike slide. Really? Really? The Ninja Turtles doing an Akira move? Oh god. What are these? The GBA ones? Were any of the... Probably not, but like, were any of the GBA games included in the Cowabunga collection? Because I know they added the Game Boy ones. The original Game Boy ones were added for whatever reason.
Looking rad, man. October 21st, 2003, on sale. You better play this game, man.
Get out of here, Mike. Sorry, Mike. You were my favorite turtle, but you couldn't even sell me on this. Yeah, let me check. Arcade. Get 3 on Game Boy. They had 3 on NES plus Tournament Fighters. They had Hyperstone Heist and Tournament Fighters on Genesis. They had Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo and Tournament Fighters. I mean, that's still an impressive lineup for what they did add for the Cowabunga collection and the 2 arcade games. So it was just everything from arcade to Tournament Fighters then. I don't know how they would go about adding like the DOS DOS Turtles game that I mentioned, the Manhattan missions. What if they added like every version of TMNT Arcade and DOS, or Arcade and the NES one? Especially like the one where you couldn't beat it on DOS. Yeah, again, speaking of new things that are coming, Metal Gear Solid 3 reboot has been announced in the time that we started, since the time we've started this, so that's a big surplus. A lot of people are also cautiously optimistic about that, because how do you make, how are they doing a Metal Gear Solid remake without a Kojima involved? Especially since it's also been announced that, like, most of the dialogue and music from the original is going to be retained. Especially Snake Eater as well, too. I don't remember seeing this trailer. Did we watch this? One where Snake Raw Dog eats a fish? We've only gotten, like, one trailer out of the, remake of it, too. What's it called again? Delta? Like, Metal Gear Solid Delta? I think if we're gonna do demos again this week, I'm probably gonna give the Metal Gear Solid 1 demo one last shot because I need my revenge on that one. I was unsatisfied with how quickly that one ended. So, Dino Crisis 2, Metal Gear Solid 1, what else? Silent Hill. We might look at a couple of those last demos. Yeah, I mean, knowing what Konami is now, this is why I also say I'm cautiously optimistic about the Silent Hill games. I would love to see more out of Silent Hill F. Like, we've only gotten the one trailer since Silent Hill F was announced, but I think Silent Hill F looks very, very promising. Like, I'm more optimistic about that than Silent Hill 2 remake. Plus, what are we getting? A new movie, a new action series, or whatever. We're getting a lot out of Silent Hill. I did hear about Gregory Horror Show. It's a kind of a PS2 obscure staple. The one I can't believe this is even Capcom. The one Capcom horror game that I wanted to play on PS2 was Clock Tower 3. Yeah, I don't remember seeing this trailer. But you guys know as well as I do that I'm god awful at stealth, so I would play this like I was playing Siphon Filter. Yeah, why are they coming back with Metal Gear Solid, and there's got to be something behind the scenes that we're not knowing. I mean, hell, Capcom was the same way for the longest time. Especially with Mega Man. I mean, years of waiting for a new Mega Man entry for the longest time, and all of a sudden they shell out Mega Man 11, so... In addition to the 50 whatever collections that they did, so... How many more Mega Man collections can they possibly put out? Like, there was the Classic, the X, the Battle Network, the Zero ZX collection... It's only a matter of time before Capcom re-releases Mega Man Soccer. Or the DOS Mega Man. Yeah, well, I'm also... I keep saying cautiously optimistic, but like... I'm also eager to see what comes out of Exoprimal, even if it's quote-unquote not Dino Crisis. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be milking Street Fighter 6 for the next couple of years, I know that for a fact. Street Fighter 6, people have been waiting for that for a while. Like, Exoprimal's coming out. I'm sad that they delayed Pragmata another year. Pragmata also kind of looked promising, so I hope that still stays in the water somewhere. Huh? No. What is that? We'll get through this video and then we're probably gonna take my dog out. But, well, I'll also give Capcom credit that with Street Fighter they brought back an entire franchise of games when it was most needed in the midst of a fighting game drought. Street Fighter 4 was the saving grace of the fighting game drought of the mid-2000s. So, when they know when to bring a game back, they do it at pretty good times. Do you think we're ever gonna get a Final Fight game again after Streetwise? I don't. Also, kind of speaking of fighting game series that are coming back out of the blue, Fatal Fury is finally getting a new game after Mark of the Wolves was on Dreamcast. So, like, yes, but why? Why after all this time? I know I'm just kind of skipping over things, but like... Oh yeah, I think we saw this too, this part. This guy says something about Vice City, right? Grand Theft Auto. Told you. I already clipped this. A bit of a tough wait to know that, you know, you get a teaser for this in mid-2003 and you still have to wait another year and a half for this game to come out. Same with what Halo 2 was. You know, they were dropping the Halo 2 early gameplay footage here, and both of these games wouldn't release until November 2004. We're still another year, good year and a half away from that. Tell me this, guys. Does Snake / Big Boss or whoever, does he actually eat snakes in the game like he does in the trailer? Or is that just a metaphor for the title? Does at any point this guy actually bite a snake? Good. That leaves me a little bit more optimistic. Because if he didn't do that, then what would be the point of the title? I know they do that for Metal Gear Solid 2. Does he also feed on a tree frog? Where's the Ape Escape one? Yeah, I know what you're referencing. It's actually kind of funny how I found Sierra when she was playing Ape Escape 3. Ape Escape 3, when did that come out? I want to say 2006? Yeah, and I also like that Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, no, we didn't get Ape Escape until early 2006. Ape Escape 1 on PS1 might be one of my, it's definitely one of my favorite PS1 games at least, but it might even crack the top 20 best games I've ever played. Sorry, my bitrate is going up and down. I'm also streaming off of Wi-Fi here, so come by the end of next week, or by the end of this weekend or next week, I'll have everything back in my house. I'll be back in my feet. I think this is Gradius 5. No trailer for Gradius 5? Does anybody even remember Gradius 4 at all? Because that was... When did Gradius 4 come out? Was that on PS2 at all? There was a bundle of one of these games. Was it 3 and 4? Yeah, it was Gradius 3 and 4. It was on PS2. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, was it either 3 and 4 or 2 and 3? Because I know Gradius 3 was a pretty early Super Nintendo game as well. Gradius 3, R-Type 3, Super R-Type, those were in the mix of early SNES games. Oh no, R-Type 94. As far as, you know, shmups go for... I know this wasn't the best console for shmups. That probably would have been... I'll even say, like, PC Engine. This was a decent shmup for its time. Makes me think of Sylphid, the Sylphid game that was on PS2. Sylphid Lost Planet. Published by Working Designs. Were there that many shmups that stayed exclusive to exclusive to Japan on PS2? We did get Castle Shikigami. I think it was Castle Shikigami 2. Yeah, Castle Shikigami 2 was out around this time with the notably infamous dub for the PS2 version. I can't believe this guy was here, that he could manage to get 45 plus minutes out of just Konami trailers and content. What's the going rate for Gradius 5 these days? If it's even still worth picking up. Whew! Hefty boy, 60 bucks. 60 bucks for Gradius 5. It's a great shmup. I don't know. Oh god, American Idol. If it was like 20 bucks, maybe. I don't think I have the qualifications to put is that Randy Jackson? Is that the Randy Jackson? I just... No, that couldn't have been. What would Randy Jackson be doing at E3? If it was Simon Cowell, then I would definitely recognize him. Well, are we out of Konami stuff at least? I know Kyle absolutely loves the American Idol game on PS2. The regular one that doesn't have karaoke in it. Just the standard rhythm game. Anyway, this isn't System Shock. Oh, wait! Wait, this is Geist, I think, right? Because I think Geist was being shown off at, E303. Yeah, this might be Geist. A very early version of Geist, if this is what it is. I didn't recognize when Activision published it. If this is Geist, I'm going to go off on this game for a while. Oh, Doom 3. Yeah, you know what? That's probably more like it. Because I'm checking, because it said Activision. Yeah, no, this is Doom 3 instead, because Activision published Doom 3. I legit thought that this would have been Geist, because I saw something and I was like... Geist was in development at this time for a while. Yeah, you were right. It was Doom 3. Doom 3 is still worth playing a lot, though. It still holds up, even as like a horror FPS. Probably holds up better than like Quake 4 on 360. Damn, I want to talk about Geist. I am probably like the only Geist stan that I know. One, for somebody who even remembers the game. Two, for somebody who's played through it. Geist should still be... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Another early build of cameo elements of power. Man, if we ever get around to 360, the 360 era of games someday... I do have this game. I do have this game in my 360 pile. This game has been in development for ages at this point. Like, this was on N64, then it was on GameCube, then here it's on Xbox, and then finally gets a release as a 360 launch title. So, Microsoft / Rare did something not right. I would love to see... I think there's a playable build of the Xbox version somewhere on the internet, but I would have loved to see this game either on GameCube or, hell, even N64. Like, this game started development, I think, around Jet Force Gemini's release. The fact that this wasn't even the only game that Rare put out for the 360 launch. The other one being... And I'm gonna have a hell of a time playing Perfect Dark Zero someday. It doesn't look bad, though. Like, the gameplay for, you know, what earlier that this is, kind of looks still promising enough. I like that you can, like, change into other characters. Like, it still has some layer of Rare charm to it, but everything post Star Fox Adventures definitely, that's kind of like definitely the line between, you know, this was Nintendo Rare, and now here's Microsoft Rare, and what do you think looks more appealing to you guys? Grabbed by the Ghoulies or Banjo-Tooie? I mean, better question is, what do you think would have been a better game, Dinosaur Planet or Star Fox Adventures? You know the obvious answer to that one. I don't even own Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Like, much like Sega games on Xbox, I just haven't started to collect most of Rare's, Microsoft Rare's outings. I don't think I have Nuts and Bolts on 360. Like, I know I have Perfect Dark Zero. I know I have Cameo. I am willing to bet I don't have Viva Pinata. The only Banjo-Tooie I've actually played was the multiplayer, and the FPS segment at that. Hell, I haven't even played much of Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I played the multiplayer of that too. I don't have Conker Live and Reloaded on Xbox solely because, you know, I like the N64 version more. But, like, if I did own it, I'd probably only keep it for the multiplayer, because it gets played a lot on X-Link Guy and Insignia. Good on Insignia, though, that they're finally up to 100 games. They just added their 100th game, I think, this past week, and they added Call of Duty 3 as their 100th game, so hopefully it gets to the point where, you know, they have staggering enough people playing it all the time, but, like, it's mostly been around 15 to 30 people max online for Insignia. I wish it was more. I do love that they have all these games, though, but yeah. Conker Live and Reloaded is playable right now on X-Link, or on Insignia. You know what, you're probably in the right, because DK64 I've heard people say they love DK64. I've heard people say it was a miserable time. I don't know. You know me well enough that my favorite game from Rare, from all the Nintendo era, not just N64, was probably Perfect Dark. Like, yeah, they hit it out of the park with GoldenEye, but Perfect Dark just aged so much better. I can always go back to play Perfect Dark. GoldenEye, I might need a friend. I was actually just playing GoldenEye on Switch Online with Adam over at his house earlier. The controls are very tough to get used to with the Switch controller. I kind of figured it out, but like the problem is that the left and right sticks are inverted. Like you move with the left stick and look around with the right. It should be the other way around, or whatever it is. I think it's like move with the right stick or aim with the left or whatever during this year. Yeah, 2023. We did get news on the new Perfect Dark as well too. Adam did tell me about this. And guess what? It's made like no progress since 2020. Here, I'll let you guys read the news. It's basically still in pre-production. It's mostly just been from development issues, but it saddens me that had this just been like an Xbox exclusive, this is probably one of the one games I would have bought for Xbox. Hell, I would have gifted it to my brother. I did gift my brother Time Splitters 2 on Xbox. Is this Geist? No, this is... Why do I keep thinking everything is Geist? Alright, now what's this? Haunting Ground, Clock Tower 3... Come on, give me Geist. The world needs to know more about Geist. I cannot be the only advocate for this game. Geist is the epitome of a hidden gem on GameCube. Oh god. Yeah, Drop told me they like n-gage Geist. I don't even have that in my VHS collection. If I would, we would have watched it by this point. We went from Konami to Rare. Was Rare's only 2 games out at this time? No, they were working on Conquer. Yeah, they had to have been working on Conquer by this point. So, Rare's only outputs by this point were Cameo, which was on 360, Conquer, which came out in like 2005, and Grabbed by the Ghoulies. It might have been one of Microsoft's. I can't even finish that sentence. I don't even think it was Microsoft's fault for how Rare has been. I legit think it was Nintendo. Like Nintendo not keeping Rare to themselves was a bigger fuck up than Microsoft buying them. For how Nintendo managed Star Fox Adventures to what it was. And not letting it just be Dinosaur Planet was what probably the biggest fuck up in Rare's history. Oh, right, yeah. I mean, we didn't get the Donkey Kong Racer on GameCube because of that. We didn't get what was it? Diddy Kong Pilot, Banjo Pilot, whatever it was on Game Boy Advance. One or the other. Yeah, a lot of Rare's projects just got scrapped because of that. Well, even then, like before the Microsoft acquisition, Dinosaur Planet was still changed. Okay, yeah, speaking of Dino. Okay, this is Dino Crisis 3. This has to be. Yeah, this is Dino Crisis 3. How did this game only end up on Xbox? Wasn't this game supposed to be on PS2 as well? How did the series go from being PlayStation... No, it wasn't even PlayStation exclusive. It was on Dreamcast and PC. How did Dino Crisis 3 become an Xbox exclusive? I want to know that. I know Matt's done a What Happened video on Dino Crisis 3 that I should watch. Wait, is this not Dino Crisis 3? Or is this another Resident Evil? Dino Crisis 3 came out in 2003, right? Why am I getting all these games so wrong? This is probably where I needed Junie and Derek to tell me what these games are. If this isn't an early version of Resident Evil 4, this has to be Dino Crisis. Now Crisis 3 was the one where they were in the future, right? Or was that 2? I think it was 3. Okay, that's a little disturbing. Ah, damn it. Outbreak! Right. The online Resident Evil. Yeah, because they did mention Outbreak in one of the earlier videos that we did of this. I don't know Outbreak. Junie would probably know this better. Well, I didn't see any dinos in that trailer anyways, so... I just stopped guessing because I'm probably gonna get the games wrong. Did they even show Dino Crisis 3 at this? Was that a Tokyo Game Show kind of thing? Oh yeah, we never got around to doing Tokyo Game Show 03. If I can find enough footage of Tokyo Game Show. Maximo. I did play the demo of the first Maximo. The Ghost and Goblin spin-off. Or successor, or whatever. Honestly, pretty fun demo. With how short it was pretty fun to play it. Speaking of demos, is it just me, or are game demos a little bit longer now than what I'm used to from here? Because like usually with demos that I've been playing, they've mostly just been like one level at max on average. Now it feels like you're getting like a couple hours worth even, depending on the replay value. Maybe they just like to have more, or maybe they just want to show off more of the game. Want the game to show off. Yeah, that's the second Maximo game. Kind of into the retail game. Yeah, true. Oh god, Chaos Legion I haven't thought about in a long time. Is that another Resident Evil Survivor? So I know we got a couple... Oh, wait, no, this is, Dead Aim. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Was that also... I'm trying to look up when these, games came out. Yeah, Dead Aim was also out around this time. What the hell is this song? Well, there was more Resident Evil out in 03 than I imagined. I mean, the RE1 remake was already out. Resident Evil 0, I think, was out. Yeah, that was Dead Aim. Okay, I'm on the board with that one. Onimusha. Oh yeah, Onimusha Power Stone. Yeah, no, take your time. Thanks for lurking. Yeah, no, you're welcome to stay as long as you want. I thought I added this to my PlayStation 2 hard drive. I don't remember. Yeah, this is also in the midst of a couple Power Stone party game clones. Like Kung Fu Chaos and Kung Fu Chaos was another one. The Billion Mandy game later on. I'd probably be better suited for this Onimusha than the mainline games. There was Genma Onimusha on Xbox that I also want to try out. Did they only make one of these? Or there were more of these. FPS2. There's only a bunch of tactics of GBA. They haven't made a new Onimusha game since Dawn of Dreams. That was 2006. There's a Robin Hood game as well. I wonder if it's any better than Robin Hood Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner. Was this actually Capcom? I'll be damned, they actually did publish this. Oh, this is a remake of an Amiga game. They published a remake of an Amiga game. Interesting decision, Capcom. I would imagine this game went largely forgotten. It's also on Xbox, though. Oh, Gregory House. Yeah, I've been told to check out this game. Yeah, Gregory Horror Show. Uma, you were right with this one. Gregory Horror Show. Oh, like, Capcom also had Clock Tower 3. They did Haunting Grounds, right? Haunting Grounds came out way later. Yeah, they did Haunting Ground. This feels as oddball, I mean, visually wise, this feels as oddball as, like, I don't know, Voodoo Vince, Dr. Muto, those kinds of games on Xbox. Oddworld even. These kinds of games would, oh my god, what is happening to me tonight? These kinds of games would definitely be, like, classified as, like, indie horror nowadays. Not something you'd see published from, like, Capcom. Like, I've seen a lot of, indie horror games that kind of replicate the style. Especially the low poly ones. You're still at Capcom's place. Alright, so there wasn't much to this video outside of trailers, but we've already seen most of the masses. I'm just trying to remember because it's been a couple of weeks since we did the last E3. What else we watched? But I mean, even outside of not watching the press conferences, we've kind of gotten a good glimpse of what was out on the show floor. There was one guy, I mean, when I was looking up some more E303 stuff, just for measure, there was one guy this past month or so who did look at the press conferences. If you guys know who RT Game is, I looked it up. He has like 1 million followers on Twitch, but like RT Game did a couple of these press conferences, reactions to those. So I guess E303 has come back into light, but I'm glad to say that I've beat somebody to the punch with this. Thought I was gonna beat Scott the Waz to the punch with E3. Scott hasn't done an E3 video in a while, and now that E3 2023, 2024, and 2025, I can't believe they canceled E3 literally 2 extra years in advance. Like, are they just not banking on this thing ever coming back? Which, you know what, fine, it's the end of an era anyways, I can probably accept it. I wasn't going to watch every single E3 year after year, too. I was probably going to stop around 2006. It was like, once 2007, 2008 came around, the formula of E3 and how they did the shows changed, and then once it started going public, and it just got cringy through the 2010s. I don't know. These are the golden era years of E3. Look, what game is this? Alright, I'm a little intrigued. All these Japan... This is more Onimusha? Okay. Yeah, all these Japan-esque kind of games blend so much together with me, especially Koei Tecmo's games like Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, Kessen. A lot of those games that they might not play the same, but you cannot tell me which of these games is which. Was really hoping they'd have a Dino Crisis 3 trailer on this segment. I don't even know which Onimusha game would be out by this point. 2, 3. Excuse me. 3. These all also being PlayStation games that flew over my head when I was a kid because I had my head stuck in a GameCube. Paramount? Oh, Beautiful Joe. was gonna say, did Capcom rip off Paramount for something? Yeah, I mean, Beautiful Joe is pretty iconic. But again, knowing that this was supposed to be a GameCube exclusive and then got ported over to PS2. Did we play the demo? I think I played the demo of this on GameCube. There were more of these Beautiful Joe games than I remembered. I thought there were only just the two of them on GameCube and PS2. But no, there was... Hey, look it up. It did have its own anime as well. There were a couple on DS as well. Yeah, there was Red Hot Rumble, and then there was Double Trouble in the DS. Yeah, no, I don't recognize Beautiful Joe after 2. Well, no, the Beautiful Joe 3 was the GameCube and PSP exclusive, so that wasn't on PS2, and the third one was based on the anime, so... Do you think Joe... Knowing that Melee, like it was in between Melee and Brawl, do you think Joe probably would have had any of a chance to get into Smash at all if he was a requested character? You know, how many characters that probably ended up in Smash by the time the Wii U game came out. And then Ultimate. But I would imagine if these games haven't gotten re-releases since whenever, it'd probably fall into obscurity. Okay, so these are all Capcom 5 games then. P&L 3 I know stayed the GameCube exclusive. Yeah, of the 5 games, as the story goes, Beautiful Joe, Piano 3, Dead Phoenix, Killer 7, and Resident Evil 4. Dead Phoenix got canceled, Beautiful Joe, Killer 7, and RE4 all ended up on PS2. And Piano 3 stayed the exclusive and was probably the worst received out of all of these. I think I played the demo of this on GameCube at least once, and even I was kind of disappointed in it. It didn't control well. I don't think I remember it controlling that as well as I remember, especially with the GameCube controller. We're almost done. We got like, what, 15 minutes of this? 15 more minutes, I'll give you guys a break, because I gotta take my dog out too. Gotcha Force. Yeah, I'm with the crowd in this and telling you that... I'm with the crowd in this and saying that I can tell you absolutely nothing about this game other than I hope you bought it at launch because you're not going to be able to afford it now. What's it going for now? This is a $360 game loose and $560 complete as of right now. Yeah, don't buy this game now. Yeah, please just pirate this game or emulate it or something. Don't waste $600 on one GameCube game. And if you are, don't make it this. I don't think Gotcha Force has a biased input on it. I don't think Gotcha Force is worth $600 for one game. Neither is most of any GameCube game. In fact, you know what? Gotcha Force outside of... Where does this game fall on complete listings? Yeah, one of the 10 most expensive GameCube games. Yeah, one of the 5 to 10 most expensive GameCube games. Not worth it. Why wasn't this part of the Capcom 5? Special Force wasn't on anything else, right? It was GameCube exclusive. Most games that were Nintendo exclusive stayed Nintendo exclusive, as they still do now. Like, if you're gonna buy a game on a Nintendo console, if you're a third party, it's mostly gonna stay that way. That's probably also the reason why Nintendo is reluctant, if not ever, going to put their games out on PC, because, you know, once people start buying Nintendo games on PC, what's the point of owning a Switch? You know, like, one of the main reasons why people are buying Switches is because they're not going to be able to play their games legally, per se, anywhere else. Did Capcom also do 13? Because I keep mixing up 13 and Killer 7. No, 13 was Ubisoft. 13 was also out around this time too, late 2003. Oh boy, early Resident Evil 4. We've looked at this already. We've looked at this. I played the demo of it on PS2. I got my ass handed to me by the GameCube demo, and Junie's still mocking me for it. I would like to see if there is still a playable version of this early version of Resident Evil 4. If it's even worth playing through anything. I mean, for whatever we can get out of this, it'd be fun to debug and debunk. Like, could you imagine looking at this and thinking this is going to be the next Resident Evil game, and then they completely scrap everything and then start over? Or whatever the new one was. Alright, where are we now? Wait. This... Oh. Okay, I ate my words. Finally get a Dino Crisis 3 trailer. Man, that bums me out. Because when I try to remember what Dino Crisis 3 actually was, and it ends up being this. Capcom did not put out a lot of, it feels like between most of the games that Capcom was putting out, it feels like it was either between PS2 or GameCube. Capcom didn't put out too much on Xbox. Outside of collections and compilations. Or re-releases. This Auto Modelista? No, Auto Modelista was already out. Oh, no, maybe it was. Oh, never mind. And here we are, back to Dead or Alive again. Haven't we seen this rodeo before, boys? Yeah, Kuma, remember what I said when they barely showed any gameplay footage of Dead or Alive? It was mostly just clad girls, or girls in clad bikinis. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. As much as I love this entertainment, seeing this for the third time, what, did we see this at E301? And we definitely saw this at E302, because I can't remember anything else that happened outside of Lara Croft and more booth babes. I don't know, I'm kind of running low on beer. Did they even actually play any volleyball at all? You get the point. It's not that I don't want to show it, it's just I've already seen it. So. Besides, these pictures also exist on the internet though. If you guys do want to see most of what else was happening at E3 as well too, I do have a picture booth. Yeah, let me plug some extra stuff as well too. When did the second volleyball game come out? Dead or Alive Extreme 2. 2006. Oh, 360 exclusive. I did not know Dead or Alive Extreme 2 was 360 exclusive. Ugh. 360 exclusive. I cannot speak today. And there was the third one, but we never actually got a physical release of Dead or Alive Extreme 3 here in the US. I think it was Japan and the rest of the world only. You can still play it though. I think it's still in English. I hope these girls actually knew what they were advertising for. If any of these girls were quote-unquote gamers, ended up playing the game that they were advertising for, or if they even got a free copy or whatever. I hope they got some good promotion out of this game other than just being there for the camera shots. Yeah, this is like the most crowded booth that we've seen at E3. Probably for good reasons, but like, there's like not another booth that I've seen that has this many guys around. Get your snapshots in, take your pictures while you can, guys. Ugh, need water. Okay, 5 more minutes and we'll take a break. I cannot believe I managed to get through this last bit. This is the last video that we were watching with direct footage on the floor and all these trailers. The rest of the stuff, what you all came here for, is up next. Take it nice and slow. Oh, come on, she's not even an actual model. When did Dead or Alive? Yeah, Dead or Alive 4 was 05, so... I mean, Dead or Alive 3 is like the only one I have on Xbox too. I actually imported the Japanese version because, it's dirt cheap. Wait, this isn't even Dead or Alive anymore. What the hell is this? Street Racing Syndicate. Yeah, this is more skimpier than Dead or Alive. During its release, it was meant to compete against Need for Speed Underground 2. Namco published this? What is Namco doing with a racing game trying to compete against Need for Speed. Besides, don't they already have Ridge Racer 5 and MotoGP? Yeah, how did this game do? 6 out of 10? Oh, so the 3DO company was supposed to publish this game, but then they went bankrupt, and then Namco picked it up. So, yeah, that's why Namco is here. Oh, Wario.
You know, these guys are mirror twins, everybody. It's Amy and Becky. Aren't they babylicious? Oh, wow.
What is happening with Wario?
Strong, baby. That was pathetic. Come on, let me hear it. How about a big awooga?
Okay, I gotta send this to Sierra.
Which one of you guys out there is not fantasizing right now?
Okay, this is great.
Get your minds out of the gutters, will you?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do my Mario dance. Ready? Dance, dance, dance on Mario's head. Dance, dance, dance on Mario's head. Dance, dance.
Is that actually Charles Martinet?
Dance, dance on Mario's head. Okay, now I'm gonna smash him with my belly. Oh yeah, oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
This is the wake up that I needed. Like an early VTuber Wario.
Dance, dance on Mario's head. Dance, dance, dance on Mario's head. Dance, dance, slide. Dance on Mario's head. Dance, dance, dance on Mario's head.
This is better than the Mario head from Mario Teaches Typing.
Make sure you all come back tomorrow, because we're gonna have a great show tomorrow here.
There was no tomorrow, was
Oh,
there?
yeah. Hey, mister with the video camera, you want me to say hello to anybody?
I do. To Michelle and Danny.
Who?
Michelle and Danny.
Michelle and Danny?
Yeah.
Are they two little kids?
Yeah. No.
No, they're not. Michelle and
They're
Danny.
not? Okay, okay. Hello, it's me, Mario. Say
Oh, no.
hello to Michelle and Danny. I love you very much. Woohoo!
Mario was Mario this whole time.
Oh, I'm such a stinker. And don't forget, Michelle and Danny, buy my game or I smack you.
Okay, this is selling me on Wario World, guys.
Why? Why? Because I'm rotten.
Have a rotten day.
Oh, I am. I'm so bad. I'm so ugly. You know, when I was born, I was so ugly the doctor slapped my mother. What's the matter with you, lady? Whack. You can't have a kid that ugly. Whack.
Oh, God. They couldn't pay Charles Martinet to do this anymore, so I'm glad he's doing it now.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody hit your A buttons. That's the green one.
Now listen, everybody. I want this to be a nice, fair game, okay? So shake the hands of your neighbor and then smack them hard. And drop their controller.
Now you see where I get my sarcasm from.
Levels did you play? Oh, this one.
Yeah. Remember, it's not whether you win or lose. It's how you.
Imagine, I know Nintendo's like doing their own,
And they're off.
they're like doing their own event in Seattle later this year. But like if they have Charles Martinet doing this as Mario and Wario, that would make it so much worth it. Okay. Well, unfortunately that's the end of that. Alright. Hold on. Yeah, so I guess that's kind of like an upgrade of, before we get into the next video, I guess that's kind of like an upgrade. Remember when I was doing E301 and like they had the Mario and Wario like animatronic puppets when they had that Game Boy Advance table? If you go back and watch my E301 retrospective, I'm talking about when like Charles Martinet was puppeteering like this Wario animatronic, or talking out of that. It kind of feels like it's an upgrade of that. And they've been doing this at E3 for years too. Like they did this since probably like the N64 era. Remember when they were showing off Wario's head when he said like, "You want fun? Wario, show you fun." Yeah, that's kind of like the upgrade as it goes on over the years for that. So that's funny that he did that. And that was like the last thing we did. Okay, I will give you guys a quick couple minute break. I'm gonna take my dog out because I'm home now, and then sit back and crack a couple of beers open because we are now into the Uncanny G4 content territory of this, and this is gonna be the last segment that we do. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't actually take my dog out. He didn't want to get out of bed, so just finish this off. Alright, everybody got their beers and snacks? Ready for a cringe fest. This first video is not actually from G4, it's actually from GameSpot. Which, you know, later ended up being part of G4 anyway, so this might be the mildest of what we're about to watch, as far as TV spots go. So this is the best of what we've seen from E303.
Hello and welcome. I'm Rich Gallup, your guide to GameSpot's look at the best games of E3 2003. We'll start off with the top 5 GameCube games that were on display. At number 5, we have Nintendo's latest iteration of Pac-Man.
Pac-Man versus.
About Shigeru Miyamoto's Pac-Man is its implementation.
I wish I probably said this earlier,
Game Boy Advance connectivity.
but I wish I had the link cable for the GBA for this at the time. I did have this game when I had Pac-Man World 2.
Players get to play on the TV as the Ghost in Pursuit. At number 4 is Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3: Rebel Strike.
Let me know if the audio's fine.
Fans of the previous Rogue Squadron games will find that Factor 5 is changing up the gameplay dramatically, adding more playable vehicles.
I will admit, Rogue Squadron 2, or Rogue Leader, was one of the best launch titles to come out of the GameCube. The second game.
Lightsaber to chuck grenades into the belly of the Imperial Walker, just like in Empire Strikes Back.
I only played the demo of Rogue Squadron 3
Number
though.
3 is Mario Kart Double Dash. The most notable upgrade to the Mario Kart style of gameplay is the use of 2 characters at once.
Oh, that's an early version of Mario Kart.
While the other stands on the back of the cart.
Yeah, where's this prototype? Where are all the Nintendo prototypes that haven't been dumped yet?
Each character can hold
Like
one
this.
power-up, so if you switch between the 2 of them during a race,
Like, why did it take a Giga Leak to get the amount of Nintendo prototypes that we
Mario
did?
Kart fans have a lot to look forward to. And number 2 is Capcom's Beautiful Joe. Easily
If
the
I
most striking
didn't-
aspect of Beautiful Joe is
If I didn't love Mario Kart 64 so much, Double Dash would probably still be my favorite.
Look that is quite unlike anything produced with a visual cartoony effect to date. These elements, along with the game's over-the-top Hong Kong-inspired combat animations,
Hong Kong animation?
that is both reminiscent of video games past and something entirely
Feels like Kung Fu Chaos was more inspired by Hong Kong stuff.
The most impressive GameCube game on display at E3 2003, as picked by the GameSpot editorial team, was Nintendo's own F-Zero GX.
Was Kirby Air Ride not being... No, it was. I think we remember seeing Kirby Air Ride.
Implemented to convey just how insanely fast you're going.
They definitely had Mario Party 5.
Every track in the game does an equal
Wind Waker was probably already out by this point.
glued to the action on the screen.
But yeah, I think last time we watched a little bit of Kirby Air Ride stuff.
However, the gameplay in F-Zero GX isn't limited to driving as fast as you can until you get to the end. A fair amount of strategy.
Where's Kirby Air Ride on this list?
Well, that's our look at the best GameCube games shown at E3 2003. But before we move on, let's take a quick look at the top 5 Game Boy Advance titles that were shown as well. Number 5, Metroid Zero Mission. Though it was only shown as a looping demo on the show floor of E3, Metroid Zero Mission definitely looks like one of the more promising Game Boy Advance games currently in development.
Little do they know it's just a remake of the first
Metroid Zero
one.
Mission appears to be a remake of the original Metroid for the NES.
I stand
with new
corrected.
features from other Metroid games and enhanced graphics. At number 4, Hideo Kojima's
Boktai. The solar game where you can use a solar panel on the cartridge.
Onto the solar-powered gun. While the game's premise is pretty standard, its execution is anything but, thanks to the use of a special light sensor built into the cartridge. While you can play the game at any time, you'll get the most.
Did we ever get a re-release of this on Virtual Console?
Dropping in at number 3 is Nintendo's own Advance Wars 2: Black Hole Rising.
I'm glad that we did finally get that Advance Wars game out on Switch after what seemed like a year and a half.
A number of commanding officers whom you can play as or against. The CEOs have various strengths.
I have yet to play this. I think Adam would probably appreciate Advance Wars more than I would.
Great deal of depth. At number 2 is another one of Nintendo's own titles, Fire Emblem. This
Oh,
game
the first
is
Fire Emblem game that we got.
similar in spirit to Intelligent Systems' own Advance Wars series,
Which
but
Fire
offers
Emblem was
something
this?
different. The game focuses on Lyn.
This
an
was
orphan who
Blazing
has a
Blade,
main
I think.
character you play as back to health,
Yeah, Blazing
on
Blade.
a journey to return to her homeland. Fans of Advance Wars should be right at home with Fire Emblem's interface.
It's funny to see how we got Marth and Roy in Melee before we got a localized Fire Emblem
The
game.
Game Boy Advance is Mario and Luigi.
Oh boy.
The title turns out to be perfect for the game, which puts you in the role of not just Mario, not just Luigi, but both of Nintendo's famous Plumber Brothers at the same time.
Wow, you get to play as both of them. What a selling point.
Mario and Luigi gain experience points, level up, earn
Yeah,
new
let me
special
play
abilities, get into
this.
turn-based battles with various monsters, and must save Princess Peach from a fate worse than death. It seems her voice has been stolen and replaced with explosives. Those were the top 5 Game Boy Advance games seen at E3.
How about the top 5
Most
n-gage games?
promising Xbox games. At number 5, Microsoft.
Ugh,
True Fantasy Live.
God.
True Fantasy Live Online.
I wanted to play this so bad.
Role-playing games on
Now that I know about this game and knowing that I can never play it because it got canceled.
races. You can build and upgrade your own house. Embark on
This pains me so bad. Like, out of all the games that I've seen of the E3s that we've done so far, this might be one of the ones that I want to play the most. Just because it's so similar to Phantasy Star Online.
True Crime pits you as Nick King, an overzealous Los Angeles police detective tossed off.
What game was that? That was True Fantasy Live Online. A canceled MMO for the Xbox. Yes, the Xbox was supposed to have another MMO besides Phantasy Star Online.
A replica of Los Angeles consisting of both indoor and
Here,
outdoor
I'll-
environments in which you can drive cars around the city, fire loads of different weapons,
I'll link you the
and engage in
name.
hand-to-hand combat as you dispense your personal brand of street justice.
Yeah, look it up yourself.
Number 3, Fable.
Oh boy. Peter Molyneux's Fable.
Big Blue Box's Fable, your character's development depends heavily on your actions. If you want to become a hero, then you must perform heroic feats before large groups
Yeah,
of people.
by level
and
5.
your reputational growth. A path of villainy can be followed through dastardly deeds such as robbery.
It's such a tease. Seeing that game as it was, and not getting any playable version of it.
These gameplay mechanics, along with some incredibly detailed visuals.
Oh, but instead we got Fable.
Games at E3 2000.
Now, give me True Fantasy Live over Fable any day. I have very little intention of ever getting into Fable.
Ninja Gaiden is, for all intents and purposes, a straight-up action game. NES Ninja Star
Is it
Ryu
now?
Hayabusa is back and can be equipped with a katana, nunchucks.
I have the first Ninja Gaiden on Xbox. I don't have black, though. I want to get black. I don't have any of the 360
You also have to use
sequels
Ryu's
either.
incredible agility to navigate various obstacles. All the game's environments and enemies, and even Ryu himself, look great. We were highly impressed with Ninja Gaiden's demo, and we look forward to seeing more of the game. Finally in the top slot for the Xbox,
No shit.
Halo 2. Halo 2 appeared in the form of an 8-minute demo that Microsoft and Bungie employees played non-stop for crowds at Microsoft.
Did I not already cry enough when I played this game? Did I not already cry enough when they were showing off the demo and seeing people's reactions?
Africa called New Mombasa.
This game needs no introduction.
Dropped into the middle of the fray with orders to raise hell. If the game can keep up the pace set by those 8 fantastic minutes, then Halo 2 will easily be better than its predecessor.
Yeah. Listen, people went out and bought Xboxes solely for Halo 1. Those same people shelled out $50 a year for Xbox Live solely for Halo 2.
Starting out at number 5 is Zipper Interactive SOCOM 2, U.S. Navy SEALs.
Well, I'm glad that I finally played the demo of SOCOM 1,
SOCOM 2, US
just to
Navy
see how I
SEALs
would like
follow
it.
up to last year's best online game for the PlayStation 2. The game will feature many of the same single
Other than
player
Battlefield
multiplayer
2 right now,
Classic
this is the game that's
SOCOM
being played the
2
most
will
on
have more
PS2
weapons, more
Online.
missions, and more modes to choose from. The meat of the game is still its 16
I wish
player
people were playing
co-op
Killzone
multiplayer.
as much as this
But rest
game.
assured, both Zipper and Sony are serious about correcting the widespread use of in-game cheats.
I love me a good at FPS or third-person shooter. I'm not good at them. I'm not good at tactical
As you can
FPSs.
see, the production values of the game alone are staggering. From crisp, well-animated graphics to the driving soundtrack and satisfying chatter of your ship's gunfire, it's clear that a great deal of time has been devoted to this title. In short, we were quite satisfied with what Konami had to show of Gradius 5 at this year's E3. We're huge fans of this classic genre and believe this could be one of the year's best offerings for the PlayStation 2. True Crime Streets of LA slides into 3rd place.
Weren't they also showing this on
See
Xbox?
this game in the top 5 of both Xbox and PlayStation 2 says a lot. There's been a recent slew
Yeah,
of
dude,
Hong
pick
Kong
one or the other.
action games, but True Crime Streets of LA just seems to rise a cut above the others. Activision is putting a huge effort into this game, retaining A-list Hollywood
Dude, get this
actors
off the list if it's already on
for
Xbox.
the voice work. So far, everything we've
Do
seen-
multi-platform games count for this, or should they just do their own list for multi-plat?
Barreling down the home stretch and taking second is Gran Turismo 4.
The voice in my head that drives my... Listen, I love Golden Earring, but they need to have more than one song besides this or Twilight Zone.
The PlayStation and PlayStation 2. Continuing the series' legacy of
I'm
boasting outside control,
It's interesting to know that they're a
Retrospective
Dutch
is
band,
now
thanks to
traveling
Derek.
again, as well as taking the series online. With already immensely
They probably did better
the addition of
in
human competition should keep
overseas
fans
than they
happy
did
for some
here, especially if this was their only one song.
Taking the prize for Best of Show for the PlayStation 2 this E3 is Konami's
Unsurprising.
Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Metal Gear Solid 3 may not
Yeah,
be
I mean,
on
I
Metal
really
Gear
would have
Solid
loved to play it. I'm still hoping,
Gameplay seems
I'm
to
crossing my
be
fingers that somebody can revive the servers
Snake will be able
for
to sneak up and brutally
either
silence
Phantasy Star
the
Universe or Final Fantasy XI on PS2. Specifically the PS2 versions, because if they can get those servers back up and running again by getting through the play online viewer thing or whatever, I will play them again. I will play Phantasy Star Universe and FF11 on PS2.
That are on display, as well as the best overall game as chosen by the editors of GameSpot. At number 10, Far Cry from Ubisoft.
The original Far
Far
Cry.
Cry drew us in with its powerful 3D engine capable of rendering a mile's radius of scenery in real time.
Oh, that's a
Indoor
bit
areas
shaky.
possess real-time lighting and shadows realistically scattered by beams of sunlight. sneaking through cracks
I mean, I could, but that kind of defeats the whole
Enemies in Far
purpose
Cry
of
keep
it.
track of your position as you move.
That's like asking why play.
Suppressing fire.
It's like asking why play Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast when you have either the Xbox or GameCube version or the
Thief 3
PC
is a close
version with
cousin to Deus
however
Ex,
many more
and as such uses
servers.
the same
It's
advanced graphics
preference.
engine capable of real-time volumetric shadows. What does this mean? That main character Garrett may have to hide in moving
And I'll
shadows,
probably have a
like
better
those
rank of
cast by
leveling up,
torches carried by patrolling
knowing on
guards.
PlayStation 2 than I
To get a
would
stylish
with how
visual
many
and
people are already
intriguing
playing on
gameplay, the new Thief game
PC.
isn't just for fans of the series, but it should have plenty to please those already familiar with Garrett's misadventures. At number 8, Evil Genius.
These are all
Crystal
just PC
Studios' Evil
games.
Genius features you as an over-the-top supervillain. You'll hide your top secret base beneath a tropical
Yeah,
island,
so Diley has
underground
told me.
military base and traps to ward off unwanted secret agents. It's clever details like this that help set Evil Genius apart.
But I'm so much more used to playing it on Dreamcast. Like, even the Xbox version is still new to me.
Sliding in at number 7, Activision's Call of Duty.
Yeah, remember when Call of Duty was a new,
First-person shooter from the
was a
creators
new
of Medal of
concept to
Honor: Allied
people?
Assault. Though what we played
Never
was
mind, this was
very
also done by the
original,
guys who did
definitely exciting
Medal of
and
Honor Allied Assault.
The level suggested that the game's creators are aiming for the same sort of exciting cinematic.
Yeah, but it's weird to think that this is the time when Call of Duty was a new franchise to people, and knowing what it
Number
is now.
6, Middle-earth Online. There are many new online role-playing games being displayed at this year's E3, but the one that really stood out from
Another
the rest
Lord
was
of the
Turbine
Rings
Entertainment's
MMO?
Middle-earth Online.
Yeah, I played COD 2 on
They will
360.
feature exceptionally detailed character models,
Probably
environments modeled
one of the
carefully after
better
memorable
launch titles I
locations
would have picked up for the
of the
360.
original
I do have a lot of the 360 launch titles too.
Many of Middle-earth Online's environments will also be densely populated with neutral characters such as hobbits, creating a fully immersive Lord of the Rings experience. At number 5, Creative
Yeah, I was gonna
Assembly's
say.
Rome: Total War.
Not to mention, I don't think it was an MMO, but there was Third Age
Rome:
on
Total War will
PS2,
expand on the
Xbox,
tactical and
GameCube.
strategic aspects of the previous games in the
Okay,
Total War
hold on.
series. War. Densely populated carefully after the memorable locations in Tolkien's
What was the
original
name?
quality that was
Hold on.
featured.
Middle-earth
There are
Online.
many new online role-playing games being displayed at this year's E3, but the
Wait.
one that really stood out from the rest
Maybe
was
this got
Turbine
canceled.
Entertainment's Middle-earth Online. The game will feature exceptionally detailed character models and huge environments modeled carefully after the
Yeah, maybe it got canceled. I'm not seeing it. Well, maybe it was also Lord of the Rings Online. Well, that came out in
Many of Middle-earth
2007.
Online's environments will also be densely populated with neutral characters such as hobbits, creating a fully immersive
me
Lord of the
check.
Rings experience.
Oh, here's an article
5,
for
Creative
it.
Assembly's Rome: Total War.
Yeah, some of these games either had name changes, got canceled, or whatever.
Rome: Total War will expand on the tactical and strategic aspects
December
of the previous
2003.
games in the Total War series. As we saw,
Hit shelves in early
characters on the
2005.
battlefield will be more richly rewarded.
Maybe it was just an early version of Lord of the Rings
Feature
Online.
on-screen commander units that can grant powerful bonuses to their companions, though they can throw entire companies into disarray if they're slain. At number 4, Commandos 3:
It was.
Destination Berlin.
Yeah.
Haro
Hold on.
Studios is moving in new directions with the follow-up of Commandos 2, designing missions with
Yeah,
faster,
so
more
Middle-earth
realistic
Online was just a very early
startup
version
and
of
a pretty distinct
Lord of the
campaign,
Rings Online.
and adding more direct combat and
It
more
changed
powerful
names.
weapons. The new
it changed
game
names
benefits from an
by
engine with more
2005.
3D features such as real-time lighting, 3D interiors, and the power to put lots of enemies on a single map.
Okay, so those are all just PC games then.
Falling in at number 3 is Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth.
This game also is on Xbox, and
To create its
it is
tense
very,
atmosphere, this first-person
it's very
game
kind of
uses
buggy.
special effects,
Drop has told me
high-fidelity
about this one.
sequences, and a dynamic system for measuring the effects of
Well, you also gotta imagine, this is 2003, and Lord of the Rings Online didn't come out until 2007, so there was time to develop the game a little bit more.
Horror games have been on consoles. There really haven't been that many horror games for the PC, let alone a game that promises to be as scary.
Again,
as Call of
ironic,
Cthulhu.
this is on Xbox, so. One of the more expensive Xbox
Halo
games.
Combat Evolved.
Gearbox's PC version of Halo.
Change this adaptation of the Xbox game Halo, and they give the Master Chief an extra edge if it weren't for the fact that the game is being rebalanced with this in mind. PC shooters live and
I
die
do love
by
that this has online
some
multiplayer.
cool
Still
additions
people
to
playing
the
online on this
multiplayer that have
version.
us itching to
I
check
have
out.
this. I have this installed on my laptop.
And finally, the #1 PC game, which just so happens to be our #1 pick for best game overall shown at E3 2003.
Half-Life 2.
Valve's Half-Life 2.
No shit. This was the very first thing that we saw.
More and more games using physics to
when I
make
was
the
doing
gameplay feel dynamic and
E3
directly
stuff.
interactive. But no game models ordinary objects like Half-Life 2 does.
And again, this wouldn't come out for like another year after E3.
From mattresses and people to the broken off letters of a store sign, hinted at how you'll be able to turn
I
ordinary
thought people didn't like the PC version of, not Half-Life 2, the PC version of
Perhaps
Halo.
even more profound are the
I thought the
moments
changes
while
kind of
Halo
ruined it.
goes
I know they
on
didn't like the
boards
Vista
and
version
a
of Halo
mattress to
2.
try to prevent an alien opponent from chasing you, only to see the alien bust right through. Plus, seeing an armored vehicle shake from the impact of machine gun fire is a good
Yeah,
reminder
Gearbox
that you don't
did
want to
something
get hit
about
yourself.
it. Yeah, well, Halo 2 was a Games for Windows Live game. Well, at
Half-Life
least,
2
you know, we
demo
can
featured pre-recorded
finally play
gameplay,
that
But it
version.
wasn't hard to imagine what it'll be like to play through the action scenes.
I can't imagine anybody wants to
We won't
revive
have to wait very long to get our
Shadowrun
hands on the game.
on PC.
Valve has promised that
Slash
it's on schedule for
360.
release on September 30. Well, that's our look at the most impressive games displayed at E3 2003.
Alright, so that wasn't
If
that
you want to see
bad.
more video of any of the games shown, please be sure to check the games category, which is sorted alphabetically by game title. Until next time, for GameSpot, I'm Rich Gallup. Thanks for watching.
Rip and kill GameSpot TV. Why did you get absorbed into before? Alright, now we're getting into heavier territory. So, you guys know who Tommy Tallarico is, right? This is not Tommy Tallarico. This is the other guy who, this is Victor Lucas.
Nintendo booth for E3 2003, and we have to ask you many questions. You guys are going for connectivity between the game.
Yeah, this is the other guy who does reviews on the run with Tommy.
What's the philosophy behind that? Why is Nintendo thinking this is so important?
Well, you know, in recent years, people have been focusing a lot on making better graphics. You know, the technology's improved, and games have gotten a
Yeah,
little complex.
Tommy can go eat a bag of dicks. Victor
Pick
Lucas,
up a game and
I'm partial.
connectivity, you know, what's really unique about it is you have very simple control.
I wouldn't doubt it if he was, but knowing how much he fucked up
Obviously, very simple.
the Intellivision Amico to put him in the spotlight.
Connectivity to it. It's something that's very easy for anyone to pick up and
He's always been a douche though. Much like the guy we're about to see at the end.
have already played Pac-Man and may think it's something old.
You guys have a very impressive showing out on the floor.
A lot of people forget that Pac-Man Versus on
Do you
GameCube
have a favorite?
was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto.
Than the others out there?
It's really hard for me to pick one title out of everything we've got, but you know, if I have to, I guess I would recommend people take a look at Four Swords and Pac-Man.
I was very impressed by Super Mario Kart, for Mario Kart Double Dash. It looks fantastic. I want to know why you guys chose not to bring that game online, though.
Well, I mean, obviously Mario Kart is a very fun game, and you can see with what we've done with the GameCube, we've taken advantage.
Nintendo didn't know how to online work in
Not only
2003.
to make the gameplay fun, to make just watching the game fun. One thing that we haven't really talked a whole lot about is that we're showing it here at E3 on a local area network where we actually have 8 GameCubes connected to one another. from a very long
I will give it credit, and a lot of people don't realize that Mario Kart 8 or
You know, at any
not 8,
time, we can
Mario
use
Kart
technology
Double Dash does support up to 16 players if you have
that's essentially online
8
play.
GameCubes, 8 TVs, 8 copies, a whole bunch of controllers. This is like the only game that supports 16 players if you have the setup for it. I wish I did. I wish I had the setup for this. I still need to get the broadband adapter.
Not at all. I mean, with you know, we get new hardware, and with this new hardware, specifically the GameCube, you know, we're able to develop
Hell, Mario Kart Wii online is still going strong with custom maps and mods. I played a couple on stream.
They really love the games, and that gives me the energy. So it's, you know, even now I'm still having fun every day.
Keep up the great work, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, ready for our first G4 show? I'm sorry that the capture on this is so bad. We couldn't get a direct capture. So bear with me.
The rankings for filter shows come directly from the responses you post on the G4 website. To make your vote count, log on to G4.
Yeah, let alone anybody who even had the broadband adapter, because the broadband adapter supported like 5 games besides PSO. It was for Mario Kart, it was for 1080 Avalanche, it was for Kirby Air Ride.
It's time to step off the console platform and onto the hard-driving PC. Feast your eyes on some of this visual candy.
Alright, start drinking. Oh yeah, World of Warcraft.
I play like 8 hours a day. I've never really seen myself quitting EverQuest for another game yet, but
The most anticipated PC games.
that I want to quit EverQuest.
Was World of Warcraft as big as it was before the South Park episode? What was the South Park episode, like 2005, 06 or something? Because I feel like that also gave the game a lot of spotlight. I don't know anybody who's been playing WoW since 04.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it a lot.
This day one. You couldn't catch me dead playing World of Warcraft for any of these MMOs, especially if you have to pay for online subscription. That's probably the best reason why I was playing probably the best reason why I was playing PSO 2 is because it was free. God forbid, you know, the next set of whatever PSO 2 updates you have to pay for. Oh, poor EverQuest. Yeah, that's another game. If they ever revive that for the PS2.
Half-Life 2 just blew me
Even though there's
away.
EverQuest on PS2 as well.
So worth it. We waited in the line for about 2.5 hours. Well worth the wait. The demo that they played in there.
I'm just waiting for the foot to drop.
Awesome.
If they can get EverQuest, I mean, outside of the Play Online viewer thing, if they can get EverQuest working on PS2 again, I'm certain they can get Phantasy Star Universe and Final Fantasy 11.
Graphics are fantastic. It looked amazing from the video.
God, look how stereotypical all these quote-unquote gamers looked in the early 2000s.
Do you think that, like, it's perhaps time to retire the word awesome? I don't know, just thought. Moving on.
I can think of a couple other words we can use that could probably get me canceled today.
They hope will provide a better way to play. Here's a glance at some awesome peripherals and hardware. Okay, so I'm in great.
It's awesome, baby. I'm so numb to this stuff. After doing this shtick for nearly 3 years, I'm so numb to anything. Oh, showing off the iToy. Kyle on tonight.
I wanted to see a wireless Xbox controller, which would be very good, even without the rumble.
The wireless Xbox. Oh god, the Mad Catz wireless controller. At least it's not. I can't believe I'm making this joke now. At least it's not the Logitech whatever controller that sunk the submarine. That is going to be immediately dated once this episode's done. Yeah, I keep up with current time somewhat.
NVIDIA. It's I looked at it. It was really intense, really crisp, really clean.
Was it the GeForce 100 series or whatever? Those GPUs.
Coming out in the Game Boy SP, which looks pretty fresh. They got like a whole rainbow of them. So now you don't have to pick between blue.
Yeah, I wish Disney did that with Club Penguin Day. Instead of just shutting down every server.
I'm really excited about the Game Boy player.
I like to game on the road, but sometimes if I'm home and I feel like playing a Game Boy game, I wouldn't mind playing it on the TV. That's a
Yeah,
great
good luck finding the disc for that.
It looks like Nintendo's
I'm glad that I have a Game Boy player. I keep forgetting that I have an Advance EverDrive.
President Satoru Iwata coolly mentioned that there isn't anything we need to worry about. I wonder what he was referring to. And if
Rest in peace, Iwata-san.
handheld market, they've got a stranglehold on the GameCube faithful. Here's what the Big N has in store for them.
F-Zero. Yeah, at this point we've already seen most of the best of the worst.
F-Zero is just cool racing. One of the cooler elements, I think, is going to be the arcade.
Nintendo, why are you sitting on this franchise when you know that we've been asking for a new one for 20 goddamn years? If you're not gonna make it, let us.
That's what I'm really looking forward to. Soul Calibur 2. Maybe a little bit.
I wish I had Soul Calibur 2 when I was a kid. I'm glad that I played it in the arcades, and it's probably my favorite fighting game. But I wish I had it on GameCube. Probably should have bought it knowing what it was. Star Fox Assault. At least this is a breath of fresh air compared to Adventures.
Playing Star Fox for 5 hours in a row. You know, going through the different paths and stuff. So it's gonna be nice. They gotta go back to the roots, man. Bring back the R
Hey,
seriously.
kid.
Yeah.
Hold off the coffee. Why was this guy on... let's rewind a little bit. Why was this guy talking so fast? This kid is like on meth with Star Fox.
I remember being 10 years old and playing Star Fox for 5 hours in a row. You know, going through the different paths.
Look
It's gonna be
how fucking fast he's talking.
Roots, man. Bring back the R-Wing, seriously. Yeah.
The shooter Star Fox, so they get it going fast.
Early stages of autism.
That'd be great.
And then that guy's just like, yeah, that's okay. Speaking of RPGs.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles looks very, very, very pretty.
The new real-time battle system, hopefully it'll be, you know, similar to stuff that they did in other games. That should be awesome. I can't wait.
I'll admit this was probably Nintendo's biggest heavy hitter if they weren't going to put out a new Zelda, Metroid, or Mario game this year. Just focus on spin-offs.
That's pretty original. I've never seen that done.
Really? No sign of Kirby Air Ride?
That's gonna work out.
I mean, granted, this was also 6 years after 64.
That's just one of the reasons that it's the most anticipated GameCube title. But is Double Dash the most anticipated game of E3? After the break, we'll find out which game earns that distinction. Plus, we'll take a look at some of the more distinct attractions on the showroom floor coming up when this special E3 episode of Filter returns.
You guys are watching the most anticipated games at E3.
How many beers are you guys down right now? Because I've only got the one. I need to go back to the store and get more. StarCraft Ghosts, another canceled gem that I honestly probably would have played. There's like 2 more parts of this as well too, so this one and the next.
Fancy fans. So actually, Rainbow Six looking really nice this year. Really easy to control. I like the night vision and stuff. It's really nice. Really, graphics are beautiful.
I hope there was a playable version of that Star Fox or StarCraft Ghost game. There's a prototype somewhere out there.
Looks pretty incredible. Just like hearing about like how if you get like a scar in the game, you know, it'll stay with you for the rest of the game. Looks to be pretty incredible.
Yeah, great reporting, buddy. I could probably do one better. Anybody want to take a wild guess? Anybody?
Halo 2. Halo 2, big time.
The old 2 guns. There's a scene where you jump on a ghost and take
Really? You sure it's not Drake of the 99 Dragons or
Awesome. I mean,
Kung Fu Chaos?
it looks like it would be on a next-gen console.
Couldn't be any other #1 game.
With a release date of early 2004, it might as well be. Come on, Bungie, speed it up, will ya?
No, please, take your sweet ass time.
So with that in mind, let's bounce across.
No, shut this bitch up. They could have taken another 2 years for Halo 2 to come out, and I still would have loved it.
In the meantime, here are a few games to keep you busy. Number 5.
Halo 2 wasn't even, like, finished the way that they wanted it, and it still ended up being the best game on the Xbox. They pushed themselves so much with Halo 2, and were so worried about delaying it again. And then they released it the way it was. And it's a technical marvel for the console.
Number 4.
And props on Bungie for doing that. I wish companies... I said this again. I wish companies like Bungie at this time were pushing themselves to put out the best quality product rather than just what the standard of doing games is now. Different ages. Final Fantasy 11. Somebody, anybody, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how much it costs. Tell me what needs to be done to get this game back up on PS2.
Commercials in Japan. I have some friends that play it in Japan right now because it's out there. From what I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
Oh my god, that giant ass keyboard. They actually have a keyboard controller for the PS2 like that. Let me look it up on eBay.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
It's like the Rambo game you always wanted when you were a kid.
Ah, yeah, they did. Of course it's by Logitech.
Number 1.
Like $50 now. Is that worth it? Should I actually use that? I know they have the GameCube keyboard controller, but it's like, is that worth it buying one of those for the PS2?
It looks amazing and
Uses your standard
I
controller.
like Ricola, she's really cute, and I like her new styling, you know, with the guns.
It's more of Charlie's Angels Final Fantasy, if you can describe it.
Charlie's Angels. I hope to God they don't mean the GameCube Charlie's Angels.
I'm not exactly sure if that's what Square Enix has in mind.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X too. It's like Charlie's Angels. What a great comparison. Oh, those poor bastards.
We'll find out what tomorrow has in store for the PC and the GameCube. Plus, we'll see what cool peripherals and new hardware are on the horizon.
You're watching the most anticipated games at E3 on film.
Alright, one more part of this. I can barely stomach any more of this.
Welcome back to Filter. I'm Diane Vizota. We're cruising along, counting down the best and most anticipated titles and attractions at this year's election.
It's only gonna get worse from here, folks. I've still got
Since we've spent most
2 more
of our
things
time
before the
showing
main
you games
event.
you can't wait to play, we figured we'd shift gears and give you a different reason to salivate. Live on center stage for your pleasure are the smoking hot booth babes.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Some really neat booths as well.
Probably my favorite booth would probably have to be the Nintendo booth.
I would have to say so far it's the Nintendo booth.
I think I've seen enough. Booth babes. I don't mind it for like the first segment of this. But like after being littered with booth babes for however long, that's what killed Beat 302 for Junie and me. I physically got sick of seeing Lara Croft.
Got a lot of great games going on this year and a lot of great sequels.
Yep, here we go again. Drinks up, boys. Cheers.
The nicest booth babe I saw was at Activision with Goth Girls there.
SRS.
Goth Girls.
They have some of the nicest import models ever.
Hey, Goth Girls here?
Definitely Tecmo. Tecmo, without doubt, dead or alive. You know, sex sells.
Sex sells. Yeah, didn't I say that last time at E302? Even the fucking Playboy bunnies are here.
A lot of them are very cute and they are very nice and I would like to be one of them eventually one day maybe.
Oh, my sweet summer child. You are going to eat those words. Okay, I need a minute. I need a minute. Everybody take a breather. Whew. Yeah, I knew I couldn't get through this alone. Okay, ready? Like another 5 minutes of this fuck.
Nice booth.
I mean, probably, fortunately for her, we don't have E3 like we used to anymore.
I'm sure many of you would want us to replay that last package. Matter of fact, you probably wouldn't mind if we just ran it on the loop for a while.
Shut your
Unfortunately,
face.
that's not gonna happen.
I'm
So I
physically
think
sick of
I'll
this.
sit down and kick it while we show you some stuff that stood out and caught us by surprise.
I'm almost as sick of her already. Yeah, the fact that they call Beautiful Joe a hidden gem.
Half-Life 2. Wasn't expecting it at all. They kept that quiet so well. I wasn't expecting.
Why does this guy look like... You guys know who Peanut Butter Gamer is?
What did I just see?
He almost like reminds me of like a really early peanut butter gamer.
The Mario and Luigi RPG for Game Boy Advance. I had no idea about that. That was a total surprise.
How many of these games were announced before the show happened? Like, how many of these games were that people knew were going to be at the show before? And, like, how many of these were, like, surprises to be here?
I heard about the Ninja Turtles game. I didn't expect to see much of it, and it's as basic as it is, it's still fun. I mean, I guess it's a nostalgia factor, but the Ninja Turtles.
This is a drinking game for me. All three of them.
The whole thing.
I couldn't even pay Adam to play that with me.
Everything is totally just blowing my mind, you know?
This is E3. This is where they show all their goods, you know? I mean, everything's meant to be a surprise.
Yeah, the goods and cans.
I'm surprised I'm here, you know, playing all these cool games right now, you know? It's a great feeling right now being at E3.
It was.
It wasn't so hard to put the boobies behind you, was it? You're shaking your heads and booing me.
Shut your mouth. I'm sick of you.
Those of you who are capable of refocusing.
God, this is just one fucking show.
There were tons of great games at E3, but in the end, only one can be the most anticipated game. You know how we do it. Sit down and
let me guess. Half-Life or Halo?
Takes on Mario Kart Double Dash, takes on Halo 2, takes on Final Fantasy X-2, and our first ever 4-way filter face-off.
The fuck was that? No contest, Halo 2.
I'm gonna have to say Doom 3 for the PC, just because it's been so long since we've seen everything from Carmack and those guys. It's gonna be a new experience. So.
Well, was Doom 64 not enough for you? I didn't realize there was so much anticipation for Doom 3 though. So I remember even seeing that at E302.
Of those four games, based on their genres, I think Final Fantasy.
Yeah, this guy. This is the guy who kind of reminds me of Peanut Butter Gamer with the hair and the goatee.
RPGs. I've loved the Final Fantasy line all the way through. I was thinking about saying Doom 3, but since the release of Half-Life 2, I don't know if it takes the cake anymore. So definitely, Final Fantasy X2 is going to be the best, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and especially how much I've raved about Halo during this segment, no contest Halo. If it was for console-exclusive games, if it was, like, talking about one console at a time, then yeah, Halo, and then Mario Kart for Nintendo, and then so on and so forth. But for all these games together, it would have been Halo 4 anyways. Or Halo 2.
Mario Kart Double Dash. I love my Mario. I would have to go with Mario.
And Wario despises you too, pal.
And just the LAN connection is awesome. Halo 2 is, if they can up the ante with the multiplayer, I mean that's all that has really going for it. That might do it.
Really? Halo 2, the only thing it has going for it is multiplayer. Poor guy didn't even watch the rest of the campaign.
The votes are counted, and your choice for the most anticipated game of E3 is Halo 2.
No shit. If it wasn't Half-Life 2, it had to be this.
Looks like Chief is still the master. Well, that wraps up this episode of Filter. Remember the
Get out of my sight, bitch.
show are yours.
Alright, well, that was one showdown.
Now, last Friday we showed.
Alright. We can get through this. We can get through next. And then I'm gonna take a quick break.
You some of the great new games.
I'm getting tired. I'm sick of
Electronic Entertainment Expo,
the best part about this is now that I'm doing this, or at least since I'm doing this now, before I can never do this again. I'm just getting this out of the way. I usually only want to do E3 retrospectives once every couple of months, if not a year.
This is where I pick what I like, what I want.
I don't think Junie and Derek could have stomached any more of this.
Most money on their booth. They have a huge display, screens all over the place, and for what? For Nintendo. Who cares about Nintendo? I'd call this the emptiest booth. Matey, I be fencing me a bit of the pirating.
Alright, who's this asshole?
Huge fan of pirates. Pirate music, pirate bands, pirate games.
I too love to pirate my games.
Disney has my pick for favorite pirate movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean is based on the blockbuster film coming this summer. It's being created by Bethesda.
Which Pirates of the... Is this the first one?
It's based on the Sea Dogs concept. If you play Sea Dogs 1, you know it's a great game.
Sea Dogs. Well, I mean, I guess the closest thing that we have now and whatever is going for rare these days is Sea of Thieves. They're doing Monkey Island.
As you can imagine here at E3, hot chicks are not easy to find. I searched
Are you sure about that, pal? I think the hot chicks are kind of all over the fucking place.
And a hot little Texas-looking cheerleader for NFL Blitz. The Fast and the Furious cheated a little bit and brought in a...
I can't believe this is the world that we lived in.
From the future of video games.
When I say part of me misses it, it's pretty much everything else except for this.
Next Gen Videos actually puts together a DVD that's about E3.
Have you guys even played video games before?
No, I've never played any videos before.
Well, that's no surprise. You're a blonde bimbo.
My vote for the most exclusive booth is Atari. You cannot get into this place. You gotta have an appointment or a letter from your mom or something from the president. It's more difficult to get into than Ninja. So, I'm gonna see if I can weasel my way in.
Sorry, sir, I don't have your appointment for you.
Why was Atari such an exclusive booth? Like, what was Atari hiding? What was Atari hiding behind the scenes that they couldn't show off? That you needed a fucking appointment to get into?
They wouldn't show us. So not only is this the most exclusive booth, but this is the most overrated booth. And this is my favorite booth out of them all.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, after seeing so many skimpy-clad bikinis, I'd probably be drinking a couple of those too, pal. If you guys haven't already.
With interpretation tactics and action, a bit like in Desperados or Robin Hood.
A lot of the games here at E3 are first-person shooters. You don't see a lot of this real-time strategy game anymore. What do you say to those people that are only into first-person shooters?
For me, a lot more interesting.
Like me.
Some more tactics. You can move.
It's different genres, guys. I don't mind RTSs, but you can't really, like, lead the horse to water kind of segment. You can't really make me play one of these if I'm just not that interested in it.
E3 picks. I'm gonna go find myself one of those booth babes, whoever they...
Wow, you've already managed to make me hate you in 3 minutes or less.
The best and worst of E3, head to our website at thescreensavers.com.
Isn't G4 great, guys? How long is this one?
Sat down with the legend himself and asked him about his...
Okay.
Well, actually, the original Pac-Man idea...
You already watched this? I don't remember. Alright, this is the last thing that we're watching before you know what. But I'm taking a quick break after this. I need to get some water. I'm legit lightheaded. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show regardless, though. This has still been fun to do, whether it's been me carrying this. Or for how much we've done this. Yeah, in the midst of a new Pikmin game coming out, here's Pikmin 2. Pikmin 1 and 2 are also coming out on Switch 2 as well, too.
So we can learn together from each other. Well, I've been focusing a lot of my attention back at work on connectivity titles, but I think people can still look forward to seeing something from Mario in the coming months and years.
And years. They were still talking about that tech demo from, like, 2000. Oh, they already have Pikmin 1 and 2 out.
We got Pikmin 2, the continuation of the great story that started in the last one. This time around, though, he's going to have an assistant, which will add to the gameplay of the game. You'll actually be able to split up the Pikmin and go and attack like enemies at different...
I will leave all Pikmin questions and comments to Adam. Adam is the better Nintendo guru than I am now.
has raised the bar on this now. You get two characters, two of your favorite Nintendo characters. On one card, it has Mario, Luigi.
I will still destroy anybody in Double Dash, though. I might not be good at new Mario Kart, especially Mario Kart 8, but if you play against me in 64... Yes, guys! Finally! Finally, guys! Yes, I knew it would be here. Please, guys, play this game. It's great. This game was so fucking good. Oh my god, I never thought I'd actually finally see out of G4 of all things. I will replay Geist if you tell me to. Geist was so much fun to play around with. We need more of that. Probably one of the best hidden gems I've ever seen on the GameCube. Alright. Before we get into the next segment, I need to take a quick break. I need to get some water and everything. This is the last thing that we're watching. But yeah, prepare for the best of the worst coming up next. Be right back, guys. Alright, I'm back. But first I'm pouring myself a glass. Hold on. I'm pouring one out. Leave the bottle. Alright, you guys ready for this? You know him. You hate him. You rant and rave about his takes on Twitter, and you're impartial to his partner in crime here. Ladies and gentlemen, for the grand finale, the dynamic duo, Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb. The very first season of X-Play from 2003. They ended extended play for this. I'll try and give him credit. This is the first season of X-Play as it was, so it might be... Oh, who am I kidding? Guys, he's as much of a douche in 2003 as he still is now. Oh yeah, the army's here. Again. They really need to call in the National Guard.
To the game. Of course, the Army is not the only one here in force. We have Xbox.
Zobix. Have you ever heard anybody call the Xbox Zobix?
Halo 2. Yes, it's very... Wait, let's see some footage. No, we're not doing that yet. We're not showing it. Good though. Yeah, but it's like
Shut up, Adam. Let me see more Halo 2.
We're gonna save it till the end.
Okay, I'm adamant about that. Adamant. Saving it to the end. Halo 2 is coming up. First, let's look at another sequel.
Project Gotham?
Yes, Project Gotham 2 Racing.
Alright, not bad.
Project Gotham Racing 2 will feature new cars and tracks and will be
I heard 4 was pretty decent on 360. I only played up to 3. Because I have 3 as... I think 3 was a launch title for the 360.
early in 2004.
But then again, you know, Forza... Yeah, Forza was also out.
Conquer was a great platform on the N64 that was made for adults. Potty language and potty subject matter. Now, it's not a
You're no better, Adam.
game, but it is a refurbished version of the original with all the multiplayer now available on Xbox Live. So, I'm still excited, but...
The multiplayer was literally just the Saving Private Ryan segment.
Can we see Halo 2 now?
No. No. No.
Are they going to be doing this the entire episode?
By the Ghoulies, another title from Rare. Now, what they were going for is basically an interactive cartoon, and that's exactly what it looks like. The character looks just like the background. It also has really simple controls, so it can provide some...
I've said my piece on Microsoft Rare at this point.
Xbox exclusive.
Counter-Strike's on Xbox.
Damn good idea. They're bringing Counter-Strike to Xbox Live. The game looks a lot better than the versions you've probably seen on the PC.
Unironically, one of my favorite Xbox games to play online still.
That game has always suffered because you really couldn't tell your teammates what to do. Now you can do it, and that's probably going to open up whole new levels of strategy inside of Counter-Strike.
Still one of my favorite games to play. Now it's on Insignia too. It's also the only version of it, Counter-Strike, that I actually know how to play. I don't know how to play the PC version or CS:GO.
Every 15 minutes, you can start tournaments, you can compete with your friends, some very cool stuff. Look for it August 2003. Now let's roll the Halo 2 footage.
No.
Fuck off, Adam.
All right, well, now I'm being joined by Jay Allard. He is the vice president of Xbox, which kind of makes you the pimpiest guy at Xbox. So, what are you excited about this year?
Adam.
Well, it's Halo 2. You know, Halo 2 is...
Now, we're not showing any Halo 2 until the very end of this segment.
Okay.
Okay. What else can we get excited about from Microsoft and Xbox?
Hey, I'm super hyped up.
Yeah, I take back what I said. This isn't mild at all. I'm already hating this, and we're 3 minutes in.
Offensive amount of time on that game offline. When that goes online, it's going to be sick. And you know, I think that the live community.
I could barely watch this now, and it's been 20 years.
Coming out on live this year, we're going to be really, really strong.
Oh, Adam, buddy. You don't know the half of it, and I'm sad that you share a name with this guy.
Halo 2? Yes, we can see Halo 2 now. Just a wee bit of background. Halo 2 is the sequel to Halo, which is one of the most...
Why are they doing this now? Aren't they going to save this to the end?
Xbox really is fantastic. These people have been waiting, what, hours just to see it.
And they're not even waiting to play the game. There's no playable yet.
No, there's no playable.
They're just waiting for a glimpse of the glory of Halo 2. We have it here for you, free.
Yes, it's no better way to finish off this segment. It's like the creamy eclair after a big juicy steak.
Oh, I bet you like that, big boy.
We're going in. Get tactical, Marines.
Covenant ground forces
Come on, keep pouring.
to deal with them before
Keep them coming.
cruiser.
Pile out. Go, go, go.
I'm going to finish this jug if it kills me. We already saw this in the last part too, and where I ranted and raved about it, so this is nothing new to me. But like I said, people living in the moment for this is what I live to see. Seeing people's live reactions to this in the crowd nearly brought me to tears. Like, this might dethrone the Melee reveal as the best moment in E3 history that I've seen so far. Wait until we get to the later E3s. Especially if I ever come back to do E3, we get to 2006, I want to see what people's first reactions to the Wii were at E306. Oh. Oh yeah, and Master Chief, Grand Theft Autoing that ghost had people's minds blown. Still as good now as it was 20 years ago. timeless moment in E3 history.
X-Play here at E3. Well, we're in Konami's booth, where we have a game that people have been waiting for a long time. This is Castlevania
Really?
of Innocence. It's the first console Castlevania game since Castlevania 64, and the first good one since Symphony of the Night.
Did they already forget about Legacy of Darkness?
I'm coming to save you. This time it's the 11th century, and you play Leon.
I would have figured after the 2 N64 ones, nobody would have cared for a 3D Castlevania.
Backstory on Dracula and the Belmont.
Also, is Circle of the Moon a joke to you? What do you mean the first good ones in Symphony of the Night?
I'll kill you and the night.
What a horrible night to have a curse.
Continuing in the horror vein is Silent Hill 3. This time the story will tie in closely with the first game's plot.
Yeah, no, why would they?
Maybe now we'll get some answers about this weird little town. Expect Silent Hill 3 at the end of the summer.
Please, not this again.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles return in this style.
I'm legit trying to get hammered, so I can't remember any of this.
This is a straightforward action title, so fans of the old arcade games will love this one. GameCube owners can look forward to a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid in the form of Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes.
First season. Oh, God. I mean, honestly, I probably would have done that on stream regardless, but I'll see how much of this I can dig up. Because there is a good playlist of X-Play stuff, but this has to be an incentive for me to stomach. And honestly, I would not be able to do this alone, so thank you guys for keeping me in check with this. Oh, Team NT. Okay, no, I thought you meant X-Play. Oh, God. You want me to watch more of X-Play? Are you fucking mad? Dude, I can barely stomach this now. Why do you think I'm hammering this jug? No, I wouldn't mind watching Team NT. 03 or 87. If 03 still holds up well. Is that Arnold? Okay. Oh, Futurama. I did see the Futurama Hulu trailer today. I am not optimistic about it. Yeah. Futurama does not need to come back, and I'm not optimistic for it. It's already... Yeah, I mean, you can watch it later, but they dropped the trailer for the new season. It's supposed to start in July. Futurama definitely could have ended by Season 7. They do not need to bring it back. You'll watch like a minute of it. First of all, it's like a lot of 2020 jokes and dated humor already, so... They're already making jokes about COVID. About COVID, about cryptocurrency, and about getting canceled. That's were the three things that were in the trailer.
This game looks to be a Grand Theft Auto game of sorts set in the world of Springfield.
Kyle absolutely loves this game. Kyle's done a couple mod showcases of this game too. Hot chicks like this game. Which game, Simpsons or this one?
Epic role-playing games producer is taking a few cues from the Simpsons team.
Yes, chicks will come to your apartment just because you have this game.
Since we're on the topic of
Yeah, in hindsight, I heard the Animaniacs reboot is
happy to note that Sarah Michelle Gellar's likeness is still kicking.
the Animaniacs reboot is a little bit too geopolitical.
Not Forgotten award is the return of Scully.
I don't have a lot of hopes for reboots. I don't like... You guys know how conservative I am. I don't like when things get rebooted to appeal to modern era. The Beavis and Butthead reboot's okay. I am a little bit optimistic about the King of the Hill reboot.
Two things I never had, however, were Barbies and ponies. So you can imagine my excitement when I discovered Barbie Horse Adventures. Not. But who knows? This might be just right for Adam.
Okay, they got me with that. They got me with that one.
Is a game based on the upcoming Hulk movie. The game better rock. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Finishing off my tour, and in keeping with the whole good-looking yet angry vibe,
Outlaw Volleyball. I forgot about this.
The game combines wet t-shirts, volleyball, and sucker punches.
I know they did Outlaw Tennis. I forgot they did volleyball.
video games.
Spiky hair
My
and blue
God, it's so pandering. It's got young people looking very pretty. Just the way David Spade likes them.
Hey, welcome back to X-Play from E3. Now, I'm here at Square Enix. There's a lot of cool RPGs coming out for you this year. You know I love my RPGs. All right, behind me.
Do you now?
Final Fantasy 11. Yes, it's a massively
Was Morgan Webb ever that much into RPGs?
cool thing is if you play it on your PC, you're also
Definitely not Adam. Definitely not Adam's sister.
Everyone's
If it was Japanese, Adam hated it.
been waiting for it a long time. We're gonna see it early 2004. If you like Final Fantasy X, you're gonna love Final Fantasy X too.
It all began when I saw this.
Yay, more Blitzball!
The power is in the outfit. Your special attacks, your magic, you get to change your clothes. Seems a little like DOA Beach Volleyball, but Final Fantasy.
Really? Is that what Final Fantasy X-2 is?
We all love about
Just more
Final
sex?
Fantasy, but everything's just a little prettier.
How is any of this stuff legal?
Look at all these people playing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. That's because not only is it the
Is that actually the description? Yeah, I barely believe that's what it was. I will take your guys' better judgment on this than mine.
Then you play the game on your Game Boy. All your stats and all your magic are down on your screen. Then it's real-time action on the GameCube. It's up to 4.
They did do a remaster of this game, right?
Feeling a little nostalgic? There's an old school Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think they did a remaster on Switch.
For the Game Boy Advance. It has the same complexity.
I mean, I'd probably be better to play it on Switch than anywhere else.
Enix title, Star Ocean Till the End of Time. This time in 3.
Now getting a remake. This one, right? One of the Star Ocean games is.
Action real-time sequences that we all love so much.
Star Ocean 2.
Long game, about 40 hours of gameplay minimum.
Oh, this is the third one. One of the Star Ocean games is getting a remake.
Now there you have it. Square Enix has tons of RPGs, and there's one for every RPG fan out there, like me.
I hope she's still doing okay. Gary Coleman.
If there's one name that makes you think of video games, that name is Atari. Formerly known as Infogrames, Atari's main moneymakers are their licenses. And that's really clear when you look at their E3 game lineup.
These are the guys who bought Bubsy now.
Is Atari's most hyped game.
Atari owns Bubsy in the modern age. What a world we live in.
First up is Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for the PlayStation.
Yeah, Atari did a lot of weird licenses.
More of the big hair brawl
Zero.
action that you already love. It now has nice cartoon graphics for a snazzier look. Oh, and destructible environments. Cool.
When were we getting Tenkaichi 3? Or Tenkaichi?
Rise of the Machines. Although there wasn't
Kyle said there was a good Terminator 3 game and a bad one. I forget which one was which.
Himself as you fight your fellow machines to protect another weakling human. C3 should be out in early July. One of Atari's original titles this year is Kia Dark Lineage for the PS2.
What?
Plays as a sort of third-person action platformer.
How come I didn't see this game?
You ride air currents to move between and around levels. Plus, the fighting lets you take
5 to 6 out of 10. That's probably why.
All this and beautiful graphics means it's worth a look.
Alright, another PS2 game I haven't heard about.
Coolest franchises ever. Transformers Armada for the PS2. Now,
Okay, I'm getting a little sick. We gotta finish this up as soon as we can. Okay, there's only 5 minutes.
Not the classic crew from the 80s. But one look at the enticing graphics and you'll forget your complaints. Big laser guns and the ability to transform on demand seals the deal on these robots.
I want to wrap this up as soon as I can.
We see, it looks like the Atari name is back in the game.
Until they go bankrupt again.
Hey, what game is this for?
Oh boy, here we go again.
I love Sudeki.
Fuck off, Adam. I did do a friendly reminder. I did do a Sudeki playthrough on my YouTube channel, and I did actually do a bit of coverage for their reviews of Sudeki at the end. It's not good. Well, the playthrough was great, but their reviews were, yeah.
Remember the movie about a game that became a game about a game designer?
Wait, is this the Tron game that Tommy Teller... Yeah, this is that Tron game that Tommy Tellerico and Victor whatever were going nuts about last time. I don't know why they were so hyped for this. I barely even remember this.
To waste a host of wireframed adversaries. For those of you tired of the wizards and elves of online role-playing games, NCSoft's City of Heroes has you taking on the role.
Alright, PC games I just don't give a crap about.
Cumbersome cloak for tights and Paragon.
I'll say something that's on my mind about this after we're done with this.
Pugilistic malcontents. Your mission is to gain the trust of the citizens of Paragon City in
City of Heroes. How did this game do?
saving the day, righting wrongs, and generally wronging the rights of evil's vicious sense of
Was.
Seems like old Sea Dogs.
And it's been shut down since 2012.
That's the software Sea Dogs 2 gets a new name. The Pirates of the Caribbean game will coincide with the upcoming Disney film of the same name, starring Johnny Depp. This RPG expresses its depth in fathoms as your character pilots his trusty brigantine.
I mean, if you want the same experience now, just play Sea of Thieves. Like the one thing that Rare is doing nowadays.
Shiver me timbers.
Alright, come on, wrap it up.
Welcome back to X-Play. We're here at Activision, and we know what you want.
No.
Doom 3.
Oh, yes.
Guess what we're not getting? Doom 3. There's nothing playable of the game here on the show floor. They are running this one trailer behind us all the time.
We will throw you a bone. There is some new news. You're gonna see Doom 3 for the Xbox.
And it looks really
I do have Doom 3 on Xbox. I still need to get Resurrection of Evil.
Take a look at Pitfall Harry.
Okay.
It's not a relaunch of the original Pitfall for the Atari 2600. It's a relaunch of the brand. Well, whatever. Pitfall Harry.
Did they actually name this Pitfall? I thought this was just Pitfall Lost Expedition.
Along the way,
Yeah, Lost Expedition.
there's crocodiles.
I forgot this happened after the
Oh yeah.
the 3D Pitfall game on PS1.
Pitfall Harry should be out this August.
February 2004.
Alright, this is Call of Duty. It's a World War II based first
Oh
person
boy.
shooter. That might sound familiar because there's a lot of World War II based first person shooters out there.
And most of them are done by the same guys.
It comes from Infinity Ward, which is
Ooh.
a team made up of a lot of the lead designers behind the phenomenal Medal of Honor Allied Assault. But there's some other stuff that makes it special. as
Thank
well.
you for saying what I was about to, Adam.
Where you're going to be working alongside many other team players that are going to be controlled by the computer's AI. You'll also be able to play as members of both Russian, American, and British forces, making this a different and probably...
I don't know if I would go back to playing the original Call of Duty. Well, this is the different one besides Finest Hour. But Call of Duty 2 on 360 was fun. As an early 360 game. At least the multiplayer was still good.
You play a rogue cop trying to take down the Russian and Chinese mafia in a series of non-linear missions. The map is huge. You've got 260 miles of Los Angeles.
There's this and what was it? What was the other one? True Crime New York.
There's also a lot of great voice acting.
Yeah, True Crime New York, True Crime Streets of LA.
Gary Oldman playing some of the best characters. You can look for it on all platforms this fall.
It's true crime. This is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's probably the game that's attracted
Alright,
the most
we're almost done, guys. I'll get you out of here.
Nothing to do with Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, which is good. That game was not very good.
This series is still going on.
Role-playing game, and it's still based on the pen and paper role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade from White Wolf. Now, in this
I was watching a friend who was playing one of these games. I just forget which one it was.
Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this game is that it's using the Valve Source technology. That's the same engine that's being used to make Half-Life 2. As a result,
And the same engine that they're still using 20 years later.
and we'll all get our hands on it, hopefully, sometime in the year 2004.
Don't keep me waiting. I can only amuse myself for so long.
The game does look pretty good.
Yep, here we go.
Alright, you can get all the information on all the games we talked about today at our website, techtv.com/xplay.
And now,
I'm sick.
33 shows to come, but we're gonna leave you now. And God, I love this job.
Good night.
God, I hate you, Adam. No. We're done. Okay. Everybody take another deep breath. I know that was a lot. I've possibly drank any more through that. So, my concerning thoughts, and this is probably a big reason as to why. I mean, never mind Adam is just as much of a douche here as he was in 2003, as much as he is now. But, like, the problem with all this journalism that they do in appealing, I mean, obviously their ideology of how it was in the 2000s is sex sells. It's basically a sex object, which, you know, doesn't fly by nowadays. But, like, the problem is that most of these journalists who are reviewers, and this also goes by with a lot of early age internet people. So this is kind of like, I guess, the AVGN curse, where, like, taking the angry video games words as, like, law for why a game is bad or whatever, instead of giving your own judgment. A lot of these people who do this, who follow these guys, don't often make their own judgments on these games. And even I'm guilty of that. Like, there's a lot of games, and especially reviews from the early 2000s and 2010s, where they say that this game is bad, but then get light on it better, and then I ask why. It often stems from stuff like G4. You know, they'll say that this game is bad, and this also goes with a lot of games that were, you know, Japanese-oriented, which is why Twitter is blowing up about this stuff, so on and so forth, you know, which is why it's coming in the recent media. So, my best judgment, or my best advice is just make your own judgment rather than listening to these clowns from 20 years ago who, especially with Adam, either double down on why they think they're right or just don't admit that, you know, times have changed. At least, and I realize how much of an asshole I am when I say these things, but, like, I realize that times have changed, but if you're not willing to at least acknowledge it, then you're probably going to be left behind. So that's my 50 cents on why G4 shouldn't have come back, because it just didn't solve anything. Why they really shouldn't have brought back Adam Sessler for it either. Alright, let's take a breather. Well, folks, this has been a very educational experience, to say the least. This was fun. This was, despite going through that crap for like the last hour and a half too, I definitely still had a lot of fun, and I definitely owe it to Junie and Derek for getting me through this this segment of E3. I definitely want to do this alone, so I thank everybody for doing this and getting some good laughs and tear-jerking moments in. I definitely got a couple clips that I want to make out of this. What'd you guys learn, though? I know there was a lot of stuff during this segment of E3 that repeated. We saw a lot of Silent Hill and like other Konami and Capcom stuff. I don't think there's not much else for me to revisit from 2003. Yeah, plenty of groans, but you know what? That's just how things were then. This is why I do these retrospective series, just kind of see the world that we used to live in, and now knowing the world that we live in now. I hate to say part of me misses it, but if I go back to living kind of like this, then I know exactly what I'm getting into. So be sure to share this with your friends, guys. I'll have these up on I'll have these VODs and my these week's VODs up on the YouTube channel as soon as I can. Probably after I'm done with Friday's stream. But I often go back and look at these VODs just for a good measure, just to see if I missed anything, if there's anything else in the backgrounds that we didn't catch up on. But just also seeing the commentary from everybody is a lot of fun. This was definitely a fun part, watching Wario rant and rave on all the families. I might have to go back and clip that. It's eager to see that all these games are turning 20 years old within this year or the next. So I'm glad that a lot of these games are also getting released better light now than when they were back then. Yep, there's Gary Coleman. Again. You remember him from E302? Why did they invite him back? Not for honor, but for you, Snake Eater. In time, there'll be no one else. Didn't we do this when I played Parasite Eve? I'm gonna be singing this song every time I see a giant ladder in a game now. I'm glad that a whole new generation gets to play Metal Gear Solid 3 again soon. In a dream, Snake Eater. Someday you go through the rain. I'm willing to bet that these are also the same photos that we again are on the image board. I do have plans. I'll talk about this. Oh god. Wait, that was at E3, that Eon ticket thing? Is that where that was from? You know how rare that ticket is nowadays? Like, they're selling that on eBay for like $1,000 average. For an e-reader thing. I don't even know if I can use my EverDrive to get past it, too. I might actually need the ticket. Or, well, there's actually people you can send your copy to, and they'll do it for you as well. The big three. Rest in peace, Sega. Oh. That show's over with. There's a version exclusive legendary. Oh, is that for Latios and Latios? Well, folks, what have we learned today? Oh, God, I'm tired. This was an ordeal. Well, I guess the best part about this is, or best in the way you want to take this is, I don't have to deal with any more E3 cringe content after this, at least for not a whole nother year. I kind of want, the whole idea for the E3 retrospectives was for this to be an annual thing. Like I was going to do this like every May. And I wanted to do that when I started doing E3 01 and 02, but because my schedule got so fucked up over the last couple of months and years or whatever, I had to do this just 1 month at a time. So thanks for putting up with me for this for however long I was doing this. So if/when/whatever, if I do a return, I do plan on doing E3 2004. I hope I can dig up enough footage. There will definitely be more G4 X-Play content by 2004. I know for a fact there will be on there somewhere. So who knows? That'll maybe be something far for the future. But as far as anything else goes, I know I mentioned this earlier. That RT game guy did a stream earlier on the press conferences for E3 2003, and I did check his VOD just to see if there was anything notable. So let's see if there was anything notable if I missed out on the Nintendo or the PlayStation or whatever. Let's see what they were talking about in the press conferences.
But our characters will remain true. Donkey Kong will remain a lovable ape. Link will never lose hope. And of course, Mario will never start shooting hookers.
Yeah, I think we're done here for today. I think we're. Did you guys catch that last part?
Will never lose hope. And of course, Mario will never start shooting hookers.
Oh, how times have changed. How times have... I'm done. That is enough E3. Alright, well, if I am back by some force of miracle luck, we will do E304 in the oh yeah, the robot chicken segment. Yeah, if I am back by some force of miracle luck within a year or whatever, I will look to do E304. But I think that's a good wrap up on E303. Hopefully we all learned something through thick and thin. Okay, let's get out of here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Yeah, I'll have a couple of clips and VODs of this stuff. Oh yeah, the next couple of things. So we are down to 2 streams left, and tomorrow will be our second to last stream, and we will be doing the last PS1 demo disc roulette. I had one more PS1 demo disc roulette that I want to do this month. Let's do that tomorrow, and then of course Friday is the big day. So be on the lookout for that. Who can we go to? I know Kyle's doing stuff. You guys want to go to Brace again? I know we did. We rated Brace yesterday. I admired her company. Let's do Brace again. Let's see what she's up to. She's probably doing some more art. Let's get that cracking. Jeez. All right, I got some work I gotta do. I'll be out of it. See you guys tomorrow. Take care. Good night.